the Pledge of Allegiance, and I'm going to ask Tim to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
Everybody will join me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Great. Thank you, Tim.
All right.
And I would like to welcome Jane Golis as our new member to our board. Jane and her husband both come with a lot of experience serving on boards in Radnor Township, and she'll be a great addition to our board. So we're very happy to have her on board. So
Thanks, Bob.
I'd like to say anything just to, no?
Thank you, Bob.
Okay, terrific. All right. And again, before we get started with the meeting, we've got a little housekeeping to do tonight. This is our annual reorganization meeting. And this is the meeting where we put everything in order as far as chairman and vice chair. So I am currently the chair. Would anybody like that position? Colin?
I would renominate you, Bob.
I would second that nomination.
I'll third it.
All right. Well, okay. All right. Thank you very much. I accept and thank you for that. So we,
Bob, just to make sure that we're running things appropriately, just have a formal vote on that.
Okay.
On any of the nominations. We had a motion in a second, but just then to vote to tie things up.
Make a motion to accept Robert DeMicantonio as chairman of the Design Review Board for 2021.
I'll second it.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, great. Thank you. So currently Colin is our vice chair. Colin, would you like to continue as vice chair?
If you will have me.
I nominate Colin.
Okay, so we'll make a motion. Tim, would you like to make that motion then?
Yeah, I move that Colin be our vice chairman again.
Okay, I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. All right. Congratulations, Colin.
Thank you.
All right. And I think that takes care of the business for the board tonight, and we'll get into the nuts and bolts of the meeting. The agenda's changed just slightly, and we're going to go over some old business first, which is the application DRB 2019-51, the application of Lincoln Financial, which came before us in December of 2019. And Kevin, do you just want to give a little background on this application?
Absolutely. So they presented to the board. The board seemed to be very much in line and in agreement with the designs, but the board noted, and I think they noted during the presentation, that they needed zoning hearing board relief. So at that point, everybody seemed to think that, yes, it was good to go, and that zoning would trump. Unfortunately, I think it was just a slight oversight, and I apologize, staff didn't catch this. The motion was made to deny the application. And what we've done since that meeting actually is motion to approve if the board approves subject to zoning relief. They did get the zoning relief, but unfortunately we had a motion to or recommendation to deny the application. So we wanted to revisit it since they're looking to install the sign per the zoning hearing board relief.
Okay. Thank you, Kevin. Is there a representative right now from Lincoln Financial?
Yes. Hi, everybody. My name is Will Golden. I'm the Director of Construction with Brandywine Realty Trust. So here representing Lincoln, and I have some of my colleagues, Phil Dubroff is with PMDI Signs, and Amanda DeGiovanni is our Senior Project Manager in Radnor. So thanks for having us, and you kind of framed it up clearly for us. So we were last in front of the group in December of 19, a different world. I saw it on YouTube. Looking forward to getting back to it. But we're back in front of you. We took your feedback in 19. We took that back to Lincoln. We moved things forward. We submitted for zoning approval to place the sign on the corner of the 150 building. That approval was received at the September 22nd meeting. We'd be happy to, we're happy to be back in front of you guys today to get hopefully your formal approval and any other feedback. And I'd be happy to hand it off to Phil Dubroff, and Phil can kind of walk everyone through the zoning package that was approved in September and ask any detailed questions that the board may have.
Great. Thank you, Will.
Thank you.
Bill?
Phil, is your mic muted?
Audio, Phil.
Bob, are we just reviewing the wall sign or?
Yeah, that's pretty much
Yep.
it. We looked at it in detail there in December 2019. I don't know if you guys
all the other information on the corresponding plans have already been installed, I'm assuming, the monument signs and.
Yeah, there was actually 2 separate applications, Colin, that evening. This sign, because it required zoning hearing board relief, and all the other signs. They did go and get the zoning hearing board relief. The package that was submitted and approved by zoning hearing board for the height, it was the only thing that they needed, was identical to what was presented in front of you. When they submitted building permit plans to install it is when we caught this. And again, it was the exact same thing that was previously in front of this board and what was in front of the zoning hearing board. And from all accounts, if you didn't get a chance to go back and watch the footage, this board was completely supportive of the application. You just felt that zoning trumped you guys, but they do for height and variance ordinance requirements. But this board still needed to make a formal recommendation.
Yeah, because I thought by denying it, we were pretty much punting it straight to zoning, and then zoning could then approve the design and everything on top of that.
Yeah, and I don't know that staff caught on to it at that point in time. What you've done since then, and St. David Square is one, you'll approve subject to getting zoning hearing board relief. Doc Walker's IM Health was similar, where you approved subject to getting to it. So it was just an oversight. Staff didn't catch it, and we just figured we can revisit it for a formal recommendation.
Well, I will move at this point to approve the application on the wall sign. I don't really need much more in terms of the presentation. I remember it last time. I think the wall sign it looks very nice. I'm a big fan of Abe. I don't know if the chin is proportional to the true representation of his likeness, but I like it, and I will move for the approval of it at this point if that's all that we need to do.
Yeah, we were in agreement that night. Matter of fact, I don't know if you guys looked over the tape, but there was all favorable comments to the aesthetics and everything about it. So there was nothing really negative from that meeting. We just couldn't approve it because of the height. So, Colin, how you feel about that? But
You're muted, Colin.
Colin?
Sorry, I have no objection.
Okay. All right. Do we need to look into any more of that, or do you feel you guys?
Well, you got a motion. We need a second and then a formal vote.
Okay, let's go for it then. Tim, you want to take it?
Yeah, in the matter of DRB to 2019-51, the application of Radnor Financial for approval of the wall sign that has subsequently received zoning approval via zoning, I move to approve the application.
Okay, do we hear a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you, Will. Thank you, Phil.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great evening.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you.
All right, so we'll get into our regular applications. The first one being DRB 2021-01, the application of Wild Birds at 371 West Lancaster Avenue in Wayne for a illuminated wall sign. Representative from Wild Birds?
That would be me, Bob. It's Jim Malin with Urban.
Hey, Jim. Okay.
I also have Heather Peterson, the owner of the franchisee online. She's under my second name there, Jim Malin.
Okay.
Hi.
Hi there.
So I don't know, can you guys, I don't know if I can share my screen or not, or do you have the drawings in front of you?
Yeah, if not, Ian can help you through that process.
I'm on 2 platforms, so I'm on my work computer and home computer, and yeah, it's not going to work. I can't share the screen, but it's a typical individual channel letters on Raceway. It's at the Stratford Shopping Center.
Mm-hmm.
We're compliant with the code, allows 2 times square feet for the first 15 linear feet, and plus 1 foot after that. We're allowed 35 square feet, and we are at 34.97. They're individual channel letters on Raceway. That's the landlord's criteria. I'm sure you guys are familiar with the whole shopping center. He's doing a great job there.
You really are. Yeah.
So there's a little birdhouse. What's that?
Does everybody have their plans? Tim and Jane and
I have
Colin?
them.
Yeah, I'm
I have.
You guys are good? Okay,
Yeah,
great.
I have everything.
Good, good. So I'm sorry, Jim, continue.
Yeah, so the birdhouse is actually, if you look on section detail, it's an individual channel letter, but it's going to be pretty deep. If you have the page 1, you can see the seasoned peach has a slice of peach. So we're going to make that birdhouse 9.5 inches thick. And then the rest of the letters on raceways with the channel letters applied, it'll be 9.5 inches. So it'll all be on the same plane. Raceways are painted the tan color and match the background. It's pretty straightforward. And then there's individual translucent vinyl colors as per their brand book on each letter and each, you see the little yellow bird at the top, the orange birdhouse, cardinal, the small blue bird. So it's going to be pretty colorful.
It looks really nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Comments from the board?
What is wild birds?
Heather. Oh, I lost Heather. It's called Wild Bird.
Sell bird stuff.
Yeah, it's a national chain. They sell a lot of, it's bird seed, bird bass, bird feeders.
Wow.
I asked her, Heather, how much bird seed you got to pay to rent there? And she said that, believe it or not, their business is up 40% across the country.
Wow.
Because people are home and they're bird watching, and there's some tranquility and stress level, anxiety gets lowered from bird watching. So
my grandmother was a huge bird watcher. So I think this sign looks beautiful. I think it's going to fit nicely. I think the entire overhaul of that shopping center has been great. I think this will fit in very nicely into that, giving a nice modern, fresh look onto that.
Yeah.
Matthew,
Not naturally, of course, the building's been reskinned and all the signs are kind of centered in the spot where the signage should go. And I'm sure you'll do the same with your sign.
will. Yeah, that's what the only place they had the blocking. So
right
in that spot.
Yeah, it really looks nice.
Okay, good.
Yeah, great sign, and its shopping center is really looking good. So
yes,
yeah, big improvement. So any other questions from the board?
Is the name of the business Wild Birds Unlimited? That's the full name?
It is.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it's missing off the first page.
Actually, just for the just kind of for the board, in our code book, you're not allowed to have more than 4 colors in a sign, but you can have more than 4 colors in a logo. So so he kind of so it's acceptable.
Okay, good.
Yeah, if the sign itself had a bunch of colors in it, we'd probably have to shoot it down, but the way it is now, it looks great. So yeah. All right. Colin, want to take a motion on this?
Yeah, one more question.
Sure.
Is the intention to have the bottom of birdhouse and bottom of unlimited to be in the same line or same plane?
It like the base of the birdhouse is even with the word unlimited. So, but the red bird just goes a little bit beyond.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, Jim, on that, did you know if the applicant wants to do anything as far as window signage?
Heather, you're...
No, the only thing we put up 1 or 2 24 by 36 window vinyls, but not a lot.
Okay.
I know that there's a limit to percentage of window, but it won't cover that.
Okay,
it won't.
15%. So.
And they were hoping to be on February's meeting, but something happened. So.
Okay. When are you going to open up? Fairly soon?
Well, we're hoping to open the end of the month.
Good.
Yeah.
Great. Just in time for spring.
Just in time for spring.
There you go.
Yeah.
Good luck.
So I've just had all kinds of technical difficulties here. So it's on, off, on, off.
That's
but,
okay.
So if I missed anything, but like how, just so I can understand this, because we were supposed to be on the February meeting. So my assumption was that I would probably have a sign by now, and I'm trying to open up without a sign. So how quickly can I get this permit and we can get going on this?
So once you receive approval, you can submit permits tomorrow if you would like. We will do our best to expedite that plan review for the work. If it is illuminated, we do have a third party that does the review for the electrical. So we can review in-house the structural stuff, but something like this can probably be turned around in a week or a week and a half.
Okay, because the sooner the better, because I feel like we've been called up long enough on this.
Okay, good. Any other comments? Board, we're in good shape. Okay, Colin, want to take it?
Sure. In the matter of DRB 2021-01, Wild Birds Unlimited, motion to approve wall sign.
Very second. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, great. Thanks. Lots of luck to you. Thank
Good
you.
Thanks,
luck.
guys.
You.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
See you, Jim. Okay, next on the agenda is DRB 2021-02, the application of Purple Leaf Capital at 512 West Lancaster Avenue in Wayne for a new sign. Representative from Purple Leaf? No. Okay, we can go back to that. You know, it's kind of funny. It's called Purple Leaf Capital, but I don't know if you guys noticed in your packet there, the sign said it was a Kuman, which was in the Stratford Shopping Center, Kumon.
You're right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So nobody's here from Purple Leaf. All right. We'll jump back to that later. Hopefully they show up. So we'll move over to the next one, DRB 2021-03, the application of Custom Finishers, Jones Signs at 550 East Lancaster Avenue in Wayne for a wall sign. Representative from Custom Finishers, which is
Hi,
DJ
Diane
Max.
Quigley with Custom Finishers.
Hi, Diane.
Hi.
Okay. So why don't you walk us through? Tell us what you have in mind.
Okay, this is the TJ Maxx in the St. David's Shopping Center. We are proposing to remove the existing set of channel letters, which is white in color and down much lower on the front elevation of the store. And we are proposing to install a set of red channel letters higher on the front elevation and in excess of the permitted square footage. We are on the agenda to go in front of the zoning board later this month. So the sign is 74 square feet where only 60 is permitted. And it is mounted 15 feet, above 15 feet on that front elevation. So we're going for relief on 2 counts.
All right. So why don't we look at the aesthetics of it and the placement of it, and we'll see what the board thinks.
Okay.
Is this a new logo, you might say, for TJ Maxx?
It's just a change in color. To be
Okay. I noticed you're opening up a new store kind of near Gap, Pennsylvania. I noticed the same type signage going up there. So,
yeah.
Okay.
They're just changing to red. Other than that, it's the same.
Okay. All right. So just, Diane, just walk us through as far as the material goes and illumination and stuff like that.
Okay, it's a set of channel letters. It's not on a raceway, so they'll just be individually mounted to the building. LED illumination. Red plex faces, individually lit are the letters. It's not really that much to say about it.
No.
It's not.
It's pretty simple.
Yeah. Okay. It says TJ Maxx.
All right.
And it's pretty much straight above where the existing one was. Maybe a little bit to the right.
Mm-hmm.
Just it's just for visibility.
Okay.
It's down where it is kind of underneath the overhang of the roof or whatever you want to call that.
Mm-hmm.
It's very difficult to see. So
naturally the old sign will come down, and that's the end of it. The old sign. The old sign's going away, correct?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And is it your job to fix up the holes where the old sign was?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So what do you guys feel about this?
Personally, I'm against it. I don't like it really that high. In today's society, are signs really, that necessary? When we have our devices and our maps and we know where we're headed. Are any of the other businesses, do we have signs? Did Old Navy go up?
Yeah, Old Navy
went.
Yeah.
Are they up high?
Relief.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Are they up high?
If you look at the one page, Colin, it has the one there where Old Navy is, and you can also see, I guess, Home Sense, which is, I guess, one of the TJ Maxx companies. I mean, my issue with it isn't necessarily. I don't like where it's located on the top part of the building there, especially based upon where the Old Navy is. I think it should be more in line with that same spot with Old Navy. If you're gonna move where the sign's gonna be, I think it actually should be consistent more with where the other two signs are, almost in size as well. It's almost, in my opinion, it could be almost too small for that location. If we're trying to have the uniform look of the Home Sense, the Old Navy, and the TJ Maxx, whereas the side that it looks like is being proposed with this new sign is more akin to the home goods sign on the top hill, like up by the Giants, which that's just at the top, at the bottom of the top section of the building, which is also shown in these pictures. So I think it by putting it straight in the middle of that side, that section, it doesn't work there. I just don't think it looks good there.
I mean, thank you for pointing out the pictures I didn't see, but I think Old Navy is not a good example because it's completely different. It's got like a billboard behind it.
Right.
They put some expense into it to, frame it and not, just slap it on the skin of this old, whatever it is, stucco or ephes or, I don't know, just.
I think Colin, you and I are pretty, I think we kind of share the same opinion of it. If you're going to put a new sign, put the new sign, make it something that fits the building and fits the location, something like what Old Navy did, rather than just essentially moving the sign up and changing the color and just, I don't think it works there.
Jane, what do you feel?
This is the one thing that stopped me also. I thought the sign is just like, first of all, why? Everybody knows where TJ Maxx is. And unfortunately, I think the sign underneath is better looking. But to have it floating somewhere on B. Altman's facade, no. I think it should be down in the same range as where the Old Navy sign is. I think they should both be hung right at that same level on the building. That makes it look more cohesive for signs. Even if the TJ Maxx Corporation wants to use its red logo on its sign now, I still think it's the wrong place for it. I think it should be down lower over the door.
If you look at sheet one, when
I photoshopped it, looks weird.
If you're looking at sheet one kind of has it set off with a gray background. I think if you were to have some type of background with the TJ Maxx in it, it would look better. I think that speaks to what Jane's talking about. I think it also speaks somewhat to what Colin's talking about. Yeah. But just having the TJ Maxx just on the facade as it currently is, I don't think it looks good.
Yeah.
Diane, where is TJ Maxx as far as the timeline, or how hot are they get?
I've been working on this job for years. So
for years.
Yeah, I kind of went away, you know what I mean, when the pandemic hit and
okay.
Resurfaced. So
all right. Well, I think we've got some really, really good comments from our board.
Yeah, I think they can consider some of the comments and redesign something.
Sure, we could table this till
the Old Navy and the Home Sense did receive relief from the board signs on September of 2018.
Yeah,
they are also higher than permitted and larger, but
well, they also,
I see your point. They're more attractive,
more expenses into making the sign look more appealing,
right?
And they were also necessitated by the redesign of the building, splitting off and having the Home Sense put into that side of the building as well. And splitting up the old Bed Bath & Beyond and changing the entrances and everything. So I think there was definitely a reason why we looked at those and said, well, these fit for what you're trying to do here with this building.
Diane, what do you think? You want to come back next month? We'll do a continuation. You could talk to your people at TJ Maxx and maybe come up with a new scheme and better placement.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Mr. Chairman, if I could just add in, Diane, I know you guys are on the zoning hearing board, I believe for next week.
Yes.
So you're going to need to figure out, because obviously your zoning hearing board is probably applications consistent with the height shown on these plans, which is okay if you're going to be bringing the sign down in height. That way, you need to be prepared to discuss that tomorrow. Or I'm sorry, next week.
Okay. We have an attorney representing us for that. So I'll you know what I mean?
It's because even if you get zoning hearing board relief for the height, it still has to come back to this board. And if this board does not approve the height, then you're right back to square one.
I understand.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yes, absolutely. I will get with him and we will, the attorney, and we will, he'll probably want to, you know what I mean? Go to the April meeting.
Okay.
Would be my guess.
So our April meeting is April 14th, and they asked that the plans, new plans, be in the township building by March 24th.
Okay.
Is that enough time, Kevin? Can we give them a little extension, or do you think that's adequate time?
Let's see what happens to zoning hearing board,
Okay.
because if there's an extended conversation at zoning hearing board on the 18th, they may end up rethinking their entire design, and it may take them longer. So,
Okay.
you know, we generally have a pretty short turnaround on these applications, so it's difficult to get stuff in last minute and then forward it to the board for your review. But at least if we do, you'll have a little bit of leeway knowing what's coming in front of you.
Okay, great.
Okay.
All right. Can we get a motion?
I move to continue the application 2021-03.
Okay. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Great. All right, Diane. We'll look forward to seeing you maybe next month.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
I know. And we'll just see if anybody from Purple Leaf Capital is shown. Nope. All right. So we'll continue on to DRB 2021-04, the application at a Great American Pub at 4 West Avenue in Wayne for some rooftop food preparation activity. We'll take a look, see what they're coming up with here. So.
Hey, Bob, it's Nick Cornelia. I'm here.
Ooh, heavy hitters.
Yeah, I told him I normally don't do this, but I think well, I won't say how frequently I've been at the pub. So I think they're comfortable with me being here on this. I also have John Sakos, who's the project manager, and Nick Batey, who's the architect on the project as well. I think you guys know what's going on with this. You previously approved the rooftop dining, the bar, and the bathrooms on the top. This is for basically a food preparation area that, according to code, has to be enclosed. So it's going to be enclosed similar to what the bathrooms are, stucco type enclosure. Nick and John will show you the photos that you have. I believe you already have them. Mm-hmm. In addition, since I have to put in this food preparation area, they had to move the air conditioning units. And you do not have that in front of you, but we're trying to open this in April. And all that is being changed there are those units are going to be on top of the bathrooms, and that they will be enclosed by a 3-foot wooden plank by plank fence that will be stained in a similar color to the bar. So in that respect, I'll turn over to John. And John, if you want to take him through. And can you switch to John? Can John have control? John Sakos?
Yes. He should be able to screen share.
Hi, everybody. How are you?
Hi, John.
Thank you for your time. Yeah, Nick led into what we were trying to accomplish. Previously, we had, you guys had approved a space for a prep area, which would, on the drawing, it shows that it would have a self-enclosed hood system there. but by code, when we ran into some code requirements, that we should be in an enclosed area. So also aesthetically looking, I think it's going to look much better to be inside of a building. So the side part of along the bathroom is where our intention is to put that area, the cooking area. It'll be the same material, the same look. It's not really visible from West Avenue or North Wayne. You almost have to be across the street up high to see there. It's not any higher than anything else. It's the same level as the bathrooms. So our hope is that we could put that in there. I've already spoke to the health inspector. So, you know, code wise, that's going to be a much better fit for us. It's also allowed us to do some better things with the menu, you know, some more detailed items. The only thing, and Nick said something about it, is that if we put that kitchen there, as we intend to do now, then we would have to find a new place for those mini splits. And the only real location for them to go would be on top of the bathrooms. It would be something where we could put a fence, a privacy fence right there that would match the fence that's on top of the bar right now. So there's nothing really different. It's just, well, there is something different, but aesthetically it's the same look.
John, can you go to the pictures and?
I can see what I can do there. Let me see. This will be a new system for us, but I think I might be able to get that.
There you go.
John, this is Colin. Would you say that the height of the mini split condensers would be similar height to the roof structure above the bar?
Yeah, it's the same height as the roof structure and not as high as the piece that's on top of that inside the fence. So
what's the roof structure of the food prep going to be? A flat roof? Like,
yeah, it's the same height. It's exactly the same height as the bathroom.
But is that like a pitched roof?
So here you go. Here, can you guys see that?
Oh, I see.
Hopefully I got it right. I believe I did. So you can see there, yeah, it's a slight pitched roof for the water. That was always going to be the pitched roof for the bathroom, but that left side where the food prep area is, if you can see, like right here is where it was always going to be there, but this part would be the new area on the left-hand side where the food prep elevations is. So again, if you're looking at it from the front, you're just going to have another privacy, small privacy fence. It's 3 feet. We're going to stand it to match everything else. Again, there's no other place to put the mini splits other than there. So, and by code, that'll allow us to keep everything separated and all be hidden. It'll look really nice. Okay.
John, can you show me an exhibit for the new service facility, new eating facility, food prep area, just so they have an idea where that's going to be located?
Oh, I know where it is.
I'm sorry.
No? Okay.
Right here?
No problem.
Is this what we're looking for? So it's right alongside the bathroom. You can see it, right?
Yeah, we got it on the papers.
Okay. I was going to say that's the original drawings that we submitted to you. The only thing that is slightly different is that those mini splits that we want to put up on top of that bathroom.
John, can you return to the colored elevation?
Absolutely.
So I'll just make one observation that, you know, I think could make it a little appealing, more appealing, is you could, and again, I don't know the specific specifications of the mini split condenser, if it needs breathability, you know, like can it be covered?
No, it has to be open and it needs 30 inches on either between units. There's 8 units that handle the entire restaurant. So that square footage on those roofs is about the only space that it can go at this point.
So my suggestion was only going to be kind of to match the roof structure on top of the bar for symmetry, you know, but if that's the only location, you know.
Oh, are you thinking something like a parapet?
Yeah, yeah.
Like a false wall?
Yeah, instead of a wood fence. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I drive by this structure every day, so I want to kind of like what I'm looking at, but.
There's going to be parapets for the handrail, right? Isn't that something we had a conversation at length about how they were going to be broken up with some type of parapets in between the handrails? Am I making that up in my head?
Well, Mr. Chair, because the air conditioning units was something that was kind of added on, and they wanted to get a sense of the board. You know, there's 2 issues in front of the board tonight. One that was on the agenda for the food prep area. And then they wanted to, because it was a last minute issue that popped up probably within the last week or so, the air conditioning units. If that's something that you think needs to be flushed down a little bit more, then they should probably come back with a little bit more design in front of this board. If you're comfortable with what you see, then obviously you can include that in the recommendation. But yeah, this was a kind of it was a code issue that developed over the course of the last week and a half.
Well, it sounds like they want to get open in April, and I guess we'll try to accommodate the best we can so they can meet their opening date there.
Yeah, that would be greatly appreciated, because our real concern is to simply, we will make it look as nice as possibly as we do everything there, and we have no other option. So even if you were to approve the bathroom, the new kitchen, which we would be very grateful for, we wouldn't necessarily even be able to do any work there, because again, it would require us to put those mini splits on the roof one way or another. There is no other option for us.
So John, and I think I can speak for others. I think we don't have an issue with the food prep area.
Gotcha.
And I don't think
with that.
Okay, well, let me just finish. And I don't think the location of the mini splits is going to change. So you could still open, if you get approval tonight, and aesthetically, we could still talk about how we conceal them. You know what I mean?
That would be fine for me, as long as we were okay with those mini splits going up there. And then aesthetically, I mean, I would willing to do whatever it is that you would like, but I think at the bottom line, at the end of the day, it's going to match that roof in material and color and level. That's a level with that roof, so it's going to go straight across. So if you were standing across the street on West Avenue and looked at it, it's going to be level. The only thing that isn't level is that elevator that's going to go, that's already been built. So aesthetically,
or one other option would be to just create like a little A-frame roof right on the front of the bathroom doors, and wrap it in the same cladding as the roof above the bar. Just again, just a suggestion, but I think those details could be hashed out. But I'm completely in favor of the food prep area and putting those units on the roof, as long as we conceal them in a way that everyone agrees.
That's fine with me.
Yeah, the only thing is, again, as Bob mentioned, we're really trying to open. And so if we can get a permit to do that and then come back as to how they're going to be covered, that would be acceptable. We don't have a problem with that.
That would be excellent.
If we don't get the permit, then we can't open.
Right. I think that goes beyond what we're looking at for this. Whether the air conditioning units go up on the roof there,
that's fine.
I don't think that's within our purview in terms of that. It's more of what goes around them to make it look nice. I think that's where we're at, right?
Yeah, and I think the wood fence is like, hey, let's just conceal these as quick and easy as possible. So I get we want to hide them, but I think we can all agree that we could probably come up with a little better idea.
Yeah.
Jan, you had some comments?
If I could chime in here.
I agree with Colin that I think you could come with a better idea than what looks to me like a fence around a sandbox or something for small children. I think that when we look at the rest of the building and what's been done, I think that you could think a little bit harder about it than just that fence. Mm-hmm. But I think, again, I think you could open and have that temporary fence there to screen the air conditioning units, with the idea that you're going to do a better.
Or don't even go through the expense of doing the fence. Just have them, visible until we come up with an idea.
That's a good idea, Colin. It's great.
Yes, Nick, what you would.
If I could. Hello,
hold on, Nick Patay.
Nick
Patay, hold on for a sec, please.
Yep.
Kevin Kachansky.
Yeah, so ultimately, if this board were to make a recommendation of the food prep area and they're okay with the AC units on top of there, they would, I'm imagining they would subject to you coming back for final details of the screening, and you could proceed, but you're kind of proceeding at your own risk, because the board could really kind of come up with an idea that, or present something, and you could be tied into a design that ultimately you don't know what you're going to be building, and you've committed that by putting the AC units up there. So
I have one question that I just don't remember from when this was before us before, but that section in the back corner there, behind the bathrooms and behind where the new food prep is going to be, next to the mechanical room. What is that area again?
The area that is behind the bathrooms next to that space is going to have the generator that's right behind the elevator. That'll have the generator back there and a couple other units, but there's not enough square footage to put the mini splits. That would have, to have that much space would have required us to not put the kitchen there at all. So you can kind of see it from, I mean, I know you have your own drawings, but I think this would show you the generator there, and then there's a hood system in place already from the existing kitchen that's below, and that's why we can't put anything really close to those, because those mini splits need the ability to breathe. Again, I'm sorry. If you were approve us to allow us to put those mini splits up there in the meantime, we would get heat and air conditioning back in there. We wouldn't have to do it temporarily like we're doing, and then we could come back contingent on, you know, showing you our plan. Talking to one of the owners that he just, you know, gave me ideas in the past, we could make it to match that roof, like something you suggested, Colin. That pitch, just leave it open on the sides. I think that that's probably going to open on the backside where the air could breathe, allow it to breathe. But a lot of that is based on, you know, we're limited on what we can do there based on the ability for those mini splits to breathe. They're required 30 inches on all sides, but we would have to have an open area of some sort. So I'm not.
Why don't we hold you to, you know, you come back, you know, at some time in the future with 2 concepts and we'll pick one.
Okay. Okay. And then in the meantime, I'll do that. We can move forward on the kitchen and we can put the mini splits on the roof. That's okay with you until we show you what we're going to do for a permanent idea?
It's fine with me. I think the ultimate question is, you know, will the township, you know, give them permitting, you know, to open by their deadline?
Right.
Well, so I can speak to that, board. Yeah. So obviously, if they get approval through this board tonight to move forward with the understanding that they're going to come back, you know, we would allow them to proceed. We've been trying to work with them through this entire project. I would suggest that we just don't assign it to some future date in the future, that we say that it's either going to be the April or May meetings, just so that we can get this buttoned up. Otherwise, you know, I don't want to be back here 2 years from now still wondering when they're going to submit something.
I agree with that.
I agree.
We can definitely be back in April. I mean, we'd like to finish it up and make it look as nice as possible as soon as possible. We want to finish. If you have
the Hampshires deserve some closure on this one. They've done a good job of getting this stuff ready, and I think we've gotten it to this point. Let's get it done.
I agree. Okay. Any other comments from the board? We're all on board?
Yes.
Okay. And Kevin, you're good?
I'm good at your motion, and we'll roll from there.
Okay. All right. And how about John? Any other comments, or Nick?
No, we're good.
I'm good. Thank you very much.
You guys are all right? Okay. Somebody from our board would like to make a motion?
In the matter of DRB 2021-04, the application of the Great American Pub for the addition of a food preparation area behind the bathrooms on the rooftop, and also to move the air conditioning units on top of the bathroom, subject to the condition of returning back before this board with final details for the aesthetics of the air conditioning unit on the top of the bathroom for the April meeting. I move to approve this application.
All right, Kevin gave a little more leeway. Kevin said April or May. So
April or May, that's fine. I'll amend my motion to that.
Okay, do we hear a second?
I second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, great. All right, thanks a lot. It's looking good. So,
thank you, gentlemen. We greatly appreciate your time and energy.
You bet.
It looks really good. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Right. Bye-bye.
All right, next on the agenda is the application of DRB 2021-05, the application of Spicy Bricks at 910 Conestoga Road in Bryn Mawr for facade renovation and 2 wall signs. And I believe Mr. DeFelice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good evening. So this is subject property is 910 Conestoga Road. It's the old Garrett Hill Pizza building. It's been vacant for a couple of years. They're probably it's been in our family for about 40 years. And I've decided it's time for a facelift. We're proposing a whole new layout, a whole new design, a whole new building. We have other projects that are not contingent on this, but we're trying to get a feel of what might be the best design, because we'd like to start work on the interior. Right now, it's just a vacant building, and so we're just trying to gauge, what does the design and the layout's going to look like. Yeah, the last time it's been probably renovated was 1981 or something like that. So we've hired Sky Design. Yao and Marai is here, so I'm going to turn it to them as far to talk a little bit about the details of the design itself.
Great. Hi there. How are you?
Hello. Yeah, my name is Yao. I'm the architect for Sky Design, and we have associate architect Mirat. Also, she's sharing the screen. Everybody can see the screen we're looking at right now. And you guys had a hard copy too, right?
Yes, we do. We have them.
Okay, good. So basically what we do right now, it will keep the existing building footprint. Then we redo the front facade. Mirat, if you can jump to the number 3, page number 3. I think people were familiar with that elevation. Okay, if you look at this right now on the top center, the second photo, panoramic, that's a current condition right now. And it's been abandoned. Luciano's been quite some years been abandoned, a 2-store. One is a 2-story. On the left-hand side, which is the red car park, is 1-story commercial. So what we propose to do is that we keep most of the brick, but we on the gray area we cover with a cement panel or kind of like drive it to bust out the building. And we didn't increase the building height because we take the highest point where the gable is to make a parapet along the building. So it looked like more like a cornerstone type of the stone type, the finish on the building. Then the most important thing we do is we make a 3 bay window. The bay window is pop out 3 feet from the current face. And you can see it here on the plan. That serve is the entrance to both of a commercial space. On the right-hand side, we propose, Luciana, correct me wrong, we propose a new restaurant on the right-hand side. So they will also serve as like a dining area for that. On the upper floor, because currently it's 2 apartments, we propose to put the 2 apartments. So that also will serve as a small balcony for the second floor. So we have a similar image. We had a rendering image, but I'll show, Mirat can show us, how they look like when they finish. Mirat, you have that picture?
Yep.
Yeah, that will be similar idea that, it's not this building, but we kind of like copy this idea into this building. We're gonna make it, the material we make, most of it metal, and some of them maybe a cement board, so it's waterproofing, they're made out of wood, and it's all customized storefront. So this is gonna be our new look. And also the second floor, there will be a French door with a shutter as decorated to the both apartment. So if you can go back to,
I'm not sure why this was so bad.
Huh? Yeah. And you can go back to our plan. That will be, if you can see the rendering at the bottom, that will be our final design. As to the sign, we don't know the name yet, but we already specified the size of the sign and the height.
You know what, before we jump ahead to the signs, why don't we concentrate on the building itself and the facade?
Yes, absolutely.
Before I get too deep into it. So just initial comments from the board about the design of the building and what they're trying to achieve here.
First question, where are the doors? How do you get in?
Well, there was the bay window. It's actually, the bay actually act also as a door. But I have the modular, every module is 3 feet. So there will be a door entrance right here. I mean, if you look at the right here, right?
Here?
Yeah, right there.
There?
Yeah, well, it's gonna be a double door sliding into it.
Sliding, you said, or?
Yeah.
It's gonna be
Isn't there
automatic.
a brick divider between these two window
Yes.
units or door
Yes.
units?
Yes.
I don't see it.
You see it in the middle? You're right.
So to enter the restaurant, you're going through a sliding door?
Yes.
Oh.
All right, I don't think that's gonna work, but.
In the wintertime, that would be difficult.
Well, we do have in the abstract, we do have a vestibule, so that actually we have the double door. We had inside. I mean, Mirai, if you can, I cannot, for some reason, I cannot draw that.
Currently, there is a vestibule in there. When you open the first door, then you have to get into the second door. So you're going to keep that same concept?
Yes.
And are you going to keep it the same width?
Same width, 6 foot. So if Mirai, you can point out where the door is on our drawing.
From my own personal experience, that was almost impossible to get the large pizza box and a case of the 6-pack out that door.
Here.
Right here.
I'm just saying, I know that experience very well.
Even from an emergency standpoint, if you have a sliding door and there's, God forbid, there's a fire in that building, you know, doors push out in case of a fire.
Yes.
A sliding door, wouldn't that be pretty hard to get people out? Or?
Well, the current sliding door manufacturer, they all come with emergency push out function. Basically, the channel, in the case of emergency, you can push right out.
Okay.
It was, yes.
Why wouldn't you go with the normal?
Aesthetically, it's not going to change anything. You know, it's still going to be that color and everything. So, like,
yes,
we could say code could, you know, determine door functionality.
Yeah.
Ultimately, this would be subject to a code review. So I imagine as an architect, he's looked into those things. But yes, obviously, yeah, we would be looking at egress during a code review.
Okay.
But other comments, I think it's a nice proposal.
Yeah, the large windows on the ground floor are what they call eyes on the street, and that encourages pedestrians to come by and look in, but still confused where the door is.
I'm sorry, confused about the door?
Still confused about where the front door is. I mean, you know, from the drawings, they'd have to somehow indicate where the door is.
I think if you look on the copy they gave to us, you can kind of see it. It's outlined just a little bit, upper left-hand corner, the photo there.
Yeah, sorry, there was showing sliding doors, not swing doors. So yeah, if you see the swing, that we mark up the 2 red box is where the entrance will be.
Okay. The this is kind of an interesting area. In under the zoning, it's actually considered Garrett Hill, Conestoga Road. So it's not like residential that we normally know or whatever. So Garrett Hill, Conestoga Road, you know, Garrett Hill's gone through kind of a major renovation, and I'm sure, Tim, you could speak to that area better than I could, but there's one little mention in the code book about the Garrett Hill area, and it says you have to have cornices as a design element in the building. And I'm not too sure there's cornices on the top of the building. It's kind of a unique item in our code, but it's clearly listed in the code book for Garrett Hill. I'm not too sure we can consider your roof line right now as a cornice.
Yeah, well, I design as a modern approach. If you can go to the page number 3, yes, you see the gray portion is actually sticking out where the face of the brick is about 8 inches. So I mean, there's more. It's not like really a cornice for a roof, but that we imply that we actually stick it up. I think that I don't know the intention for the cornice at that time when they have the code is something that they don't want too flat, you know, like a commercial type box. But I do taking the like a more residential, high-end residential approach to design this location, rather than just a big commercial box.
Gotcha.
Well, I think part of it was to provide for some symmetry and maintain the aesthetics that were currently there. If you take a look at the building that is currently now Flippin' Bailey's, you see that look there. You see across the street from there, the one that's what Garrett Hill Ale House. It's also, it's got the brick look. I think one of my concerns is the introduction of the gray, more modern concrete rather than the more brick look of the rest of that section of the street. What is the intention for changing that? And I mean, the one picture that you showed with the example of the windows, I mean, that was surrounded by brick, by a lighter brick, but it was still a brick look, not more of a concrete look.
Mm.
Other comments?
And what's the deal with the blue railing?
Oh no, it's just a rendering mistake because we cross out we'll hatch out the background. That portion didn't get hatched out. That would be a black railing, just like the picture show. So that show the sky. It's not blue railing. Yes.
So the building to the left, which possibly may be a restaurant, may not be a restaurant. It's a flat roof. Is that more for the apartment dwellers to go out? Or if it was a restaurant, is it more for this rooftop dining? It's getting to be quite popular.
Well, Louisiana, we haven't planned to do the roof dining yet, at this point, because we only focus on, getting the building elevation. Mm-hmm. But on our design, we do have a window on the apartment. Do have a window open to the rooftop there. So, but we do have a handrail. But on the right hand, on the left apartment, I mean, we can make a door if they want to go out. But
yeah, I don't think it's ever been zoned or permitted to use it for use for commercial nor residential. But nonetheless, there's always been 2 apartments above there. And there's, the people who's ever been the tenants have always hung out there on top of that roof. But for the first floor, the immediate, on the right side is going to be a restaurant. It's going to be a more enhanced new Garrett Hill pizza. And on the left side, we're just going to leave it as an empty space for now. It's probably most likely not going to be a restaurant. It could be maybe a bakery. We're trying, if we can put a bakery in there, it'd be nice. But we're more focused on the right side so we can kind of start, putting things together and planning the building and the layouts and start working on the apartments.
Luciana, to the right of the building, you've got looks like a chain link fence with the gate. Is that for parking behind the building?
So that's in the past. That's where kind of like everyone has kind of parked, from employees to tenants. Mm-hmm. The garbage truck goes back there because there's the dumpster back there on the right. But I'm working on a whole different other plan that's with the zoning board, and it's still in the crossroads. We don't know where it's going to be going at exactly. We're trying to add more parking in the back, mm-hmm. But again, I don't know where the outcome of that. So what we're trying to do is just focus on what we do have control over, and that's just the building itself. And would like to start renovating it as soon as we can. Maybe maybe there's something we like, or maybe there's something we don't like on the exterior. We can change that. But we're more focused on just trying to get the renovations within. So things like the balcony windows, you know, that's kind of important right now to start renovations to the apartments above, so that, because they kind of they need to be aligned and in sync with the design of the apartments. So, you know, if those look kind of okay, you know, that's something that's, you know, that's a start for us to, okay, at least we can start working on the apartments. And, you know, anything else that may be a gray area, we can, you know, revisit it, or, you know.
Okay. Well, how's the board feel as far as the aesthetics of the new facade, and are there some elements that we like? Hopefully there is, that we can kind of give them an okay to get this project started.
Well, I'd like to.
I'm in favor of it.
I mean, there have been rumors about other developments of the all-season building, and also the property on Wentworth that was destroyed recently, and having those turned into some type of mixed-use residential commercial. Is that what? Is there any involvement with this building in that?
Yeah, the two properties may be combined, but even if they are, you know, they're going to be functioning as and operating as, you know, separate, like 3 separate individual commercial spaces. So you'll have all seasons, and, you know, a new concept that will replace Garrett Hill Pizza, and then, you know, the space next to the left of Garrett Hill Pizza. So, you know, there's no, you know, there's not going to, if whether they get consolidated or not, it's not going to have any implications or impede on any of the, you know, the plans that we're trying to do here.
Well, the reason I'm asking that is not necessarily about that. It's more about establishing the aesthetic for the new development in that section of Garrett Hill. And what this is doing is it's taking the what's existing of there with the brick building and essentially changing it from a more I don't know the correct word for the aesthetic look of it, but you're looking at the brick building there, and the brick building of Flip and Bailey's, and also the brick building, the one where Zesto's is, and got the old brothers. They all kind of work together in some ways, but this is changing that. It's changing the tenor of it and making it into a more modern section. And so that's where adding the element of the gray concrete, I think it's not a subtle change. I think it is a pretty drastic change for that section, especially considering how large this building is relative to that entire strip there. I love the idea of renovating this building. I love the idea of the glass. I'm concerned about the door. I'll be honest, that's something that I just don't know functionally how that will work. And also considering it's not like this is on a pedestrian walkway. You know, people walk by it, but really you're talking about, you have 4 or 5 parking spots that come right up to the front of the building almost. So it's not like this is something on the typical Main Street USA where it's just people are going to be walking by, and that's where you're going to get people coming in. Well, my concern really is about that change with the gray. I don't care for it, I don't think, and it's something I think is, if it was one component or one aspect of it, but really you're boxing the entire building into a gray concrete box, which is atypical for that neighborhood.
Yeah, I agree. I think I like the windows and the bump out for the balconies that are, but the gray looks like a big heavy box around the building. Possibly you might consider running brick a different way, instead of the bricks going, or bump out brick, you know, a different way of laying the brick around it, so the building would still be all brick.
And I'll also comment after the roof.
Should we talk about sidewalks? Should sidewalks be going? Even if they drive across it, there should be a pattern in the asphalt, or a pavers put in that indicates there is, it's not a sidewalk because there is parking there, but it looks like a sidewalk.
I guess Kevin could answer that question better. Kevin, is that something we
Yeah,
can?
so as Luciano indicated, there's a bigger plan in store. Whether or not they proceed with that is a different matter.
It's a different thing then. That's okay.
Yeah. So if that does occur, there's subdivision land development requirements, and sidewalk would be reviewed at that time.
Okay.
Here, because it's an existing condition and they're just doing a facade renovation, that wouldn't be. You can encourage the applicant to do it, but nothing that would be required.
I understand, but you know how you can just lay pavers down, even though cars park right on them. Oh,
yeah, I think
there's I agree
the
that
bigger
I
plan.
think that we should consider the gray around the edges is not, to my eye, the best solution. But
Colin, what do you feel?
I'm in favor of the design.
Okay.
But let me go back. Mirak, I'm sorry, interrupt. Can you zoom in the existing photo where the alley going to parking lot with the current, zoom in at that one? I know that people like the brick building, but for our building, I don't know if you can see it. We might find another one. I mean, compared to the other one, our side facade is no brick. The bricks only had the front. Right now it's exposed on concrete block. So what I did is that using the driver actually cover and make a frame out of it, because the debris, we're gonna lose another 4 inches, into the driveway. So it's I know the brick building, but we actually current building we only have one face. And in terms of a face, like the brick, the gray box or whatever color the concrete survey, we only cover probably less than 40%. We still expose the majority of the brick. I try to explain that to you because you can see, we probably have a better picture you see on the side, and you can see what I'm talking about. So when you drive by, you don't see it's quite as a brick building, most of just the face. But we could we can integrate more brick on the side when we renovate the side with the apartments. I think that the night view, I don't know, Mira, we have an existing night view. That shows more on the right angle. Oh, no. Down the day view is all existing. Yeah, we try to clean it up on the side.
Yeah, I don't have any the angle view for the existing on the sheet.
Yeah. Yes, like the neighbor's building, they had more brick on the side, but for us, we only have one layer of brick, then we turn it into block. That's the existing condition.
So again, your timeline, I understand what Luciano said, they'd like to get started. Is it asking too much for you guys to come back in April? Maybe just if you can tweak the plans a little bit?
I think it also has to include cornices. I don't see a way around that one.
I'm sorry, what's that, Tim? We kind of muffled.
I'm sorry. I said I think it has to include cornices. That's in the code. I don't see a way around that. But.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, that's a picture we have current right now. So that's why I try to, make a frame, at the front.
Right.
Rather than I've been covered, and then of course I'm gonna clean up on the side because the current building is just a face of a. We can preserve that,
I think the design that you came up with is pretty. I really do think it is a pretty design. I just don't know whether it fits in that section of the township. I just think it doesn't necessarily fit with that community.
Well, why don't we try to hang in there an extra month? And I think you've gotten some good feedback from our board. And maybe, like Tim mentioned, according to the code, you're gonna have to work on the cornices and maybe see if you can tweak that design a little bit and maybe pay us a visit in April and we can do a continuation. At that time, we'll need to look at your lighting also. If you can come back with a lighting plan, it looks like you have some goosenecks, unless you want to tie that in with your sign package. And maybe, it sounds like things are getting done around the back. Maybe you can make sure to show us that the trash is going to be enclosed. We need to have dumpsters enclosed or trash cans enclosed. So some little things like that, maybe a little more detail on a couple items too.
Does the code, I don't have the book Bob, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Can you read the cornice again?
Okay, it lies under, it says building size, and then it's letter A. So it says building height and roof lines. Note, cornices shall be incorporated as a design element in the buildings with flat roofs and shall be subject to review by the design review board. So,
all right. So I would argue in Sky Design's defense that what he's showing is in fact a cornice.
I would too.
But again, I'm only one board member who seems to like the design. So I'm arguing for
I would also sort of agree that it could be interpreted as a cornice because it's bumped out a bit.
And there's an overhang.
So it's an overhang.
Yes.
I just don't like the color.
But again, I just wanted to clarify that he is technically showing a cornice.
Sure, sure.
I think so too.
I think in interpreting the cement addition as a cornice is perhaps a slippery slope, especially considering the prospect of future elements being constructed in that vicinity. But I appreciate your statement.
Yeah, I mean, I also have to, commend the owner for, putting the investment into the building because it's definitely an improvement.
Definitely is.
Yeah. So what do you think, board? Give us some suggestions. Would you like to see the plan come back next month, or are we asking too much to delay these people another month?
Would they be able to start on the interior renovations and the windows and everything, except for the?
Well, I think with
outline.
Kevin's approval, I think we can make a motion where we can approve the window treatments, the shutters, the railings, and
bump out.
Yeah, Kevin, if that's agreeable to the township.
Yeah, look, you can make the motion, and if you're only approving a portion of it, they can proceed with that portion. There are some economies of scales of mobilizing the contractor and then possibly having some delays with that. Any motion, I would just recommend that it's for the facade only. There is ongoing discussions regarding the number of rental units, the number of seats that are allowed in interior. So it's just regarding the facade and not necessarily referencing any kind of number of dwelling units or anything like that.
Okay. All right. Luciano, you agreeable to that?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. So at least we can hopefully get you started a little bit. Okay. So why don't we okay, so
what are we asking him to return for? I'm sorry.
Well, we're going to ask him to maybe take a look at the facade itself. We'll say that trim work around the brick. I think we're all in agreement. The windows look good. The shutters look good. The railings, I think we're good with. Maybe take another peek at the roof line and the sides. Maybe take another look there, see if that can be improved just a little bit, and maybe a more definitive cornice if possible. Is that where you're basically where you're headed, Tim?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. All right. And then like I said, we'll ask you when you come back, we'll take a look at your lighting. Maybe you can get some cuts at a goosenecks lighting. It looks like you're going to have, which I know will tie in with your signage, and just some other elements of the building that maybe we've overlooked when you come back. So, but are you guys ready? You want to look at some signage now, or it might not be a bad idea since you're here? It's on the agenda, and
if you have any comment on our signage, go back to the signage.
Might change the look at a building too if we change signage. So why don't you walk us through your sign package then?
Okay. Yeah.
Is that Luciano? You're going to handle that?
Yeah. Or Mariah, do you have that?
I'm sorry, Luciano. What's that?
Yeah.
No, I'm getting Mirad to go back to the page.
Okay.
And the page number 3, we had the sign, the size of the height, and because we don't know. Yeah, right here.
Yeah, that's fine.
And we're located at the, you can see the elevation down below. Mm-hmm. Yeah, right here. And we locate on the restaurant apartment, we locate at the very top of the building. And on the one-story part, we locate right above the bump out window. And the size, I think we follow the code compliance. Mirad, I don't know exactly the number from my screen. I think it's 10 square foot or 15 square foot.
15 square feet.
15 square feet. We follow that, so we make it more longer size, and we have about, I think it's 16 inches by. I mean, you can zoom in a little bit.
It's 10 feet long, 10 feet wide, 18 inches high.
18 inches high, yes, exactly 15 square foot.
Okay. You guys
it will be on the board, cut off. It's not individual letter, but it was on the board, and we had the gooseneck light point to it on the outside. It's not self-illuminated. It was lighting from the top.
So the board itself will be what type of material?
It could be wood.
Okay, wooden board with raised lettering.
Yeah, raised lettering. Yes.
Okay, and illuminated by the gooseneck lights.
Yes.
Okay. I think on that building, the way it shows right now, it's a nice look. We're gonna have a problem with the one sign because it's higher than 15 feet from grade, which is an issue. You can only go as high as 15 feet from grade. So, I got a question. How high is that building? Do you have an idea?
Yes, you're right.
It's the facade, the new facade itself is about 25 feet at the very top.
Okay. Right.
So yes, it's correct that the restaurant side of the sign is higher than the 15 feet. It's at 19 feet at this moment.
Okay. Yeah, that might be an issue because it doesn't look like you have a great place to put signage on the restaurant.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, I was hoping this whole building become a sign because people recognize this building. Sure. The way the window, everything. So.
Yeah.
And the food's a bit delicious. People will recognize that food too.
I don't know, board. What do you think? We've got an issue there with the height of the sign.
Maybe an option would be to have a vertical sign between the shutters. Just an
banner. You talk about banner, the vertical banner.
Yeah. Vertical. G hill, but vertically.
Colin, you mean projecting?
No, on the face of the brick.
Just flat on the face. Okay, good.
Sure.
Yeah.
The top of the sign would be, capped at the 15.
Sure.
Just an idea, again.
Okay. I
guess they could always go in front of zoning for relief.
For sure.
The name of the restaurant is not in stone yet, I think. Is that what I understood? That this name is just a placeholder?
Yes.
Yeah. There is no name yet.
Yeah. So, I think it's easy to read where it is. Mm-hmm. I know it's too high and I'm the new member, but.
Yeah. I guess the other thing, you could always put signage in the front windows.
Yeah, but that breaks up the windows.
It does, yeah.
And I think that the signs look better where it is, but it's out of code.
Sure.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Using the vertical concept, you could put it almost on the corner.
Yeah, that was I was about to. If we fine tune, can I integrate the sign at the corner like a banner right there at the corner? That way, it's actually really, really obvious, visible location for this sign.
But then the other one would have to be matching too, or
well, not necessary, because I can, we can make it like a form, the size, everything, but it's just one vertical, one, because it could be totally different store.
Well, what I like about the sign is not that large, it's not that large.
Yeah,
it's not a giant sign.
No.
I think that it might be out of code, but it seems to be tucked into the building.
If you're talking about doing a projecting sign, you're going to be really limited. It's going to be pretty small.
Right. That's the reason. I look at the code. The projecting banner side would be too small.
Yeah, you can only go up a maximum of 6 square feet, so that's pretty small.
Yeah, that's usually for logo.
That's pretty much it. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, compared to that, I choose this option, even though it was a little higher, right? Because our building is higher. Mm-hmm. That's right.
Okay. Well, there's another issue. Maybe we can have your work on and come back. And naturally, you're a long way from putting signage up on that building, but at least you've got some good feedback from our board, and maybe you can work on that and try to fit it within the 15 feet from grade. Or it's always an option to go to the zoning hearing board for relief. Yeah. So
maybe if the gray facade that goes around was skinnier, it wouldn't, at the top, it wouldn't be so.
If it was skinnier, probably I wouldn't have much issue with it, as much issue with it. If it was more of just a border, but this is something, it's the chunkiness of it. Or if it was just not the gray, I think if it was more of a brick tone, I probably would have no problem with it.
Yeah, me too.
That's kind of
all right. What else, guys? Like I said, we've got some good commentary tonight, I think, and hopefully we're not setting Luciano back too far in the development of his property. But we would like to see it back next month and continue with it. I think looks like a good plan. Like I say, maybe just needs a little tweaking here and there, and I think it'll be a big asset to Garrett Hill, that's for sure. So, yeah. Luciano, you have any questions for us, or Sky Design? Any questions?
So are we ready to submit the interior apartment permit? If you don't, nothing involved outside. I mean, we do have a door we're open, a new door at the front and the balcony. Will we be able to submit that interior renovation permit?
Well, again, Kevin would be better to answer that question.
You can submit an interior demolition and renovation permit, but none of that can include elements that are on the exterior of the building. So if part of that permit includes a door and this board has not granted approval for that door, we would not issue that permit.
Oh, so with that, can we get the approval for the door, like two door with a shutter for the apartment, and the balcony? Because that way we can at least finish the interior renovation on the second floor. I mean, at least start it.
Yeah, so while that's possible, this board may want to see what the whole comprehensive exterior of the building looks like, and to approve a door now and then have to wait for the rest of the facade, that could be challenged. It's up to the board, but that could be a challenge.
Yes.
Okay. Any other comments or questions from our board? Guys, okay. Any other comments, Luciano? You guys are good with it, and I guess Tim, this is more your neighborhood. How about if we ask you to make the motion on this?
At this point, are we doing the approvals or are we doing the continuance?
I think it's going to be a little bit of both, right?
If somebody tracked more specifically what is.
Well, I'm not sure what we're motioning.
Well, I think, can we give them an approval for the upstairs windows and shutters if they want to get started with that, or should we just?
I guess we would be only approving the size of the window.
Yeah, and not.
We don't even know. We don't know. That's not clearly defined.
That's a good point. Yeah. Okay. All right. So shall we make a motion just for a continuation?
In the matter of DRB 2021-05, I move to continue this matter.
Okay, do we hear a second? Colin, second. Jane, second.
See, I'm confused on how to vote because I'm in favor of the project, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
But again, I think maybe we should look at
well, I guess here we go. We could deny the sign package because the sign is not approved. We can't approve the sign as it's in front of us.
Mm-hmm.
But again, the facade is still a question in my mind because
Yeah.
I think 2 of us are in favor of it and 2 of us are against it.
Right.
But I don't want to speak for Jane.
Well, I'm not totally against it. I just think the light gray color, I can see where that's making a bold outline that doesn't really follow along the street that well. But maybe it's just the color. Cement can be darkened. It can be.
Yeah, it's just that's just a color they selected. So I guess they could change the pigment. But again, I'm not sure, how we're motioning this.
Well, I think Tim, your general motion was just to come back pretty much with everything, signage and facade, the whole building.
That was the. I mean.
Yeah, I think that's probably.
That's what I'm comfortable with now. But if people have specific things that they wish to approve, then.
I mean.
I don't know the specifics of which are going to be up for approval at this point. That's something.
Okay. Well, I think we have so many questions. Maybe we should just ask for a complete continuation the next month and look at it with fresh eyes next month. Ask the applicant to make some changes. See if they can fit that sign in to meet the 15-foot height, unless they're so adamant about keeping it up there that they want to go to zoning hearing. Give them a couple options, let them sleep on it, let us sleep on it and take a look at it next month and see. As long as we're not holding you guys up too much, and hopefully we're not. So you guys, is the board good with that? Colin, you mentioned maybe you'd like to see a little more design element in the windows, or maybe look at the little more nuts and bolts of it.
No, I was just saying that we can't approve just the windows because we don't even know the size. So we could approve the windows, but then they could come back and, enlarge or shrink.
Right. I understand. Okay.
So I think we're either approving it as a whole,
okay,
or denying it.
Or a continuation.
Or a continuation, I'm sorry.
Okay. So I think Tim's motion was for a continuation.
I'll move to continue if someone wants a second. If not, they can put forward a motion to approve it. That's fine with me.
Okay. Well, do we hear a second on the continuation? And I would second it.
There we go.
Okay. All right. And is that enough to move it to a continuation? Looks like we might have a tie 2-2. Jane?
I'll continue. I'll vote to continue.
Okay, good. All right. So we've got a second, and we've got a motion to continue this applicant until April, and we'll further review it and ask the applicant to make some changes, and we'll look at it again at that time. So
they will still have to go to zoning for you'll still have to go to zoning for the sign though.
Well, unless they want to reposition it to meet the.
Oh, that's the big hang up. Okay.
Yeah.
They could lower it, reposition it, or move it below 15 feet.
Right.
Got it.
Or apply for zoning relief.
Exactly. Okay. All right. We good?
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, just a formal vote on the motion, and it was seconded, but we need a vote to.
Oh, okay.
Continue.
So motion was made. All in favor?
Aye.
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 All right, Kevin.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Kevin.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Luciano. We'll look forward to seeing you next month. I'm going to give another shout out to that Purple Leaf Capital. Did anybody show from Purple Leaf?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Okay. All right. So let me.
Am I unmuted?
Yeah, no, you're okay. But just 1 second.
Great.
Brian, how you doing? So we're
Good.
going
How are you, Bob?
we're going to look at the application of DRB 2021-02, the application of Purple Leaf Capital at 512 West Lancaster Avenue in Wayne for a new sign. So
yes.
Hi,
Yeah, so what they're doing is they're matching the State Farm sign that's already on that building that Vegas runs. It's a cooperative. It's a sandblasted redwood sign. It's 1.5 inches thick. They wanted it painted Benjamin Moore colors. The Acorn 1125 for the background, and then for the border, it was the classic white blush 904, which again, Benjamin Moore colors. The text is raised. The background is sandblasted out, and it does have a border that matches exactly, and the size matches exactly to what is currently there, which is 10 inches high by 48 inches in length. And we're attaching it to the building with Sheldon hangers, which are attached from the back, which comply with the rear mounting requirements of Radnor Township. And I can share with you, I'm on a different device, and it kind of limits. I can share you a picture of the building and show you what that all looks like.
I think we've got that in our packet.
Okay, but I have a visual for you too, if you wanted to see that.
Let's take a look, Brian. Yeah.
I'm just trying to see how I can share on this device. I'm going to hit share content. I'm going to hit photos. Let me see. No access to all photos. And go back. I just had it here. I'm not sure why it disappeared.
Don't sweat it, Brian. If you can't.
Yeah,
don't worry about it. I think we have a pretty good idea.
Yeah, I got. Oh, there it is. It's a new device, and having so many problems with this device.
Jane has put it up on her screen.
I don't know how else to do it.
Oh, I just had this here. I had it saved under Kumon because that's what that's the franchise that Purple Leaf Capital owns. There you go. That's perfect. Thank you. Sorry about that. That's where this sign would go, and you're probably seeing it backwards, but that's where that sign would go. I'm so sorry.
Question for you. I know there's a pole sign.
Yes.
State Farm has, or is Kumon going to be on that?
That's from the landlord. That's from Bages. He has control of that pole sign.
Okay. All right. So you have nothing to do with that.
No.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, I think it's a pretty...
and there's no windows. Just to let you know, there's no window lettering.
Right.
Either.
And there's no illumination, is there, Brian?
No, not at all.
Okay. All right. Questions from the board?
Nope.
Pretty simple application. Looks good. I know you do good work, Brian. So.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it.
We know it'll be done right. So. Okay. Somebody like to make a motion for acceptance? If there's no further comments or questions from the board?
I motion we accept the sign.
Okay. Do we hear a second?
Whatever.
Do we hear a second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Great. Thank you, Brian.
Hey, Bob. Thank you. Thank you, Jane. Thank you, Kevin, Colin, Tim. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Take pleasure.
Care. See you, Brian.
You have a good one.
You too. Okay. Next is the application DRB 2021-06, the application of Friedman Lancaster Avenue Partners. They've actually have the next five applications.
The signs are all very similar.
They're very similar. Yeah. So why don't we have a representative from Friedman give us kind of an overview of the five plans. I think they are very similar, and we'll kind of look at it and we'll look at them one by one, but we won't interrogate after the first one as much as we will the first one. So, okay. So it looks like who wants to start?
Hi, I'm David Friedman. I'm here as representative for the properties. So my father and I purchased 5 apartment communities like pretty much the last day of 2020. So we're new owners in Radnor. This is our first DRB meeting. We've got a lot of plans. Hopefully, you could take it easy with us. It's also my birthday, so my wife was asking me what I wanted as a gift. I told her I just want DRB plan approvals, if she can get me that. So anyway, we have our sign contractor who's worked with us for probably 30 years, and another general contractor who's involved with some of this project. So if you just tell me where you'd like me to start, happy to go to that first property. And
yeah, why don't you kind of walk us through the first property? And looks like lighting, windows, sliding door, shutters, and the signage. So
okay, I heard someone say Aberwick, so we'll start with that one.
Yep,
that's the first one, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So for the lighting, if you walk any of these properties, they're crooked. A lot of them are very dingy. They don't produce a lot of light. So if you're walking, on the sidewalks or throughout the property as a pedestrian, it doesn't provide you adequate or nice light. So we gave you some photos of the current condition of what's there existing. And what we're proposing to do, and we mapped them out, locations of where they all are on the property for post lights. We're proposing then on that next page in option B in the red to do a more like a nice municipal style light. Very much actually the company that would do this, we've worked with them before, Spring City Electrical Manufacturing. I'm pretty sure their owner or president is a Radnor resident. Yes. And I think they've done, so I think they've done stuff like your middle school, maybe some of your stuff on your downtown on Lancaster Avenue. But we've worked with them on projects before, and they would be working with us here. So I gave you some design detail and a couple of more close-up fixtures. And what we're proposing would be to put these nicer lights kind of to tie in a little bit with your cityscape. And in the same exact locations as where they are, or if we're able to downsize the number of the lights based on the lighting distribution, we would look with our electrical contractor when it came to code it for the permit application to make sure that we're meeting all those requirements. Do you want me to stop one by one or continue on through?
No, we'll go kind of piece by piece. So we'll kind of finish up with the pole lights, and then we'll move to the next area. So you're proposing the middle unit, it looks like, in our plans here.
Yeah, outlined in red, option B.
Mm-hmm. So what's the board feel about that style?
Classic Philadelphia gas street lamp design.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it looks good. How tall are those?
Let me take a look. I want to say 41.25 inches, but I do believe that they have the ability to modify that pole height custom if there was something within the ordinance that it couldn't be more than a certain height or size.
So it'll be somewhat similar in height to what's existing.
It would be taller than what's existing.
Okay. Kevin, is there any code requirements on that?
What was the height? Yes, there is. I just have to track it down in the code.
Okay.
Okay.
What was the height that was mentioned?
Well,
the height that's here is 41.25 inches. But again, whatever your code requirement is, they can meet, and we will meet.
Oh, they're higher than 41 inches.
Well, it looks like 13 and change, maybe.
Or you know what that might.
Just
you know what that.
About 14 feet, roughly.
You know what? I'm sorry. I'm reading. That's the top. The head is 41. Yeah. It's 17. No, sorry, 12 feet. 12 feet.
Yeah, I believe that is fine. I thought it was either 15 or 20. So I'll track that down and mention that at the end.
Okay. All right. Kevin's going to work on that. So the style we're good with. The placement you're going to work with your electrical people on that.
Yes.
I think provided it meets code, is a board in agreement that the lights look good?
I think they look good, and they look good, and they're a classic Philadelphia light fixture.
Yeah. Now, will that be the same lighting that's going to go for all 5 properties?
Exact same light.
Okay, good. So we don't have to review that. So, okay. All right. Everybody's good with the lighting? Colin?
Yes.
Okay.
These are going to be LEDs, so they're probably going to throw more light.
They will. We have the ribbed top at the, so that'll help with not casting too much light, elsewhere.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, while I'm still looking, and I don't want this to get lost, that while this board may approve a certain light fixture of certain style and certain color, and we issue permits for it, if it's determined, it caught my eye because of the comment on LEDs. If it's determined to be creating glare or any kind of nuisance, we will issue violation notices. So please, just as you're looking at your lights, dark sky compliant, that there's not a whole lot of light trespass, it's not creating any glare.
Are these lights able to be shielded in some way? I think they've done some of that throughout the town.
The dark sky is on the top.
Dark sky's on the top, but you can shield it. You can limit the radius of the light, the different candle.
Okay.
Candle force or whatever.
Okay, so why don't we move over and take a look at the windows while Kevin's doing some research on the height there.
Okay. So the windows are original. They're a single pane aluminum frame. So we have a couple of pictures of the current property and condition at a few different angles and locations. What we're proposing to put in is white vinyl at this property, double hung. The grid patterns will match existing, so we're not doing anything to change the grid patterns. And if we just have a couple pictures of there, along with some specifications and details, but generally speaking, we've only owned this property for about 2 to 2.5 months. One of the top complaints from the residents that live there has to do with how drafty the windows are. So one of our primary focuses is to make them happier with something that doesn't leak air and they're uncomfortable. So this is what we'd be proposing to do. And Joe Marsden is here if you have more technical or specific questions about what we're proposing to put in.
Any question for Joe? And again, these windows will be in all the properties, correct?
The one difference is that one of the locations, Wessex House at 505 Lancaster, we were proposing a painted black exterior vinyl.
Yeah.
So just
nice.
It'll look very sharp against the brick.
Okay.
But the window themselves the windows are identical. It would just be the color. That's the only difference in this whole application.
Okay. We're good with the windows. Can we move along?
Right. And I like the black idea for Wessex.
Thank you.
All right, so
Chairman, if you don't mind, I did find that section on the lighting. It's under section 105 of our zoning code E, and the height of luminary should not exceed 25 feet.
Okay.
Okay, so we're good.
Yeah.
All right, great. Thanks, Kevin. All right, so you want to put new sliders on the patios?
Correct.
Okay.
And they're from the same manufacturer, so they're like products.
Okay, good. All right. Again, I'm sure those sliders are either broken or drafty or whatever. So
a lot of the above.
Okay, all right. And it looks like some new shutters also, huh?
We do have shutters on here. There were signs. You want to come back to signs?
We'll do signs last.
All right.
Okay. So yeah, we do have shutters. So a lot of these, some of them were replaced at one point. They're vinyl, but a lot of them are aluminum, and you can kind of see from the brick photos that over the years they've stained. So part of what our plan is, not part of tonight's meeting, but pressure washing and trying to clean up the brick and remove those stains. But we would be taking off the shutters on this location, and in the same locations as they exist, we have raised panel black vinyl shutters that we would put on. Consistent as well with other apartment properties that are in the area, most notably, I think Brinfield Court right on Lancaster Avenue across the street.
So that'll be the new color scheme then, the black.
Yes, so this will have new black shutters again in the same exact locations.
Okay. And is that going to hold true for most of the other properties too, or all the other properties?
Some of the properties that we have on here actually do not have shutters existing. So as a way to kind of create more visual interest and to improve the look of the properties, we do have some drawings to propose adding some strategic locations.
Okay. All right.
That don't exist.
Okay. All right. So why don't we look at the signage package for this property?
Okay, so this property is a little more unique than the others. There are 3 existing signs. There's one on Lancaster Avenue, kind of right next to the driveway for 427 Wayne, that condo community that's going up. There's one on the corner of Lancaster and Kamenix, and then one down Kamenix, kind of closer towards that underpass for the train tracks. So we're proposing to stay in the same locations of where signs currently are. So the first picture we have shows you the corner of Lancaster and Kamenix. We would be keeping it in that same spot. And then the new sign, as you can see, we would be doing a faux ledger stone to have posts and anchored to a wood grain carved sign with the property name. I know that you guys need the street number as part of your code, so we have that on the corner right there for the property address and our contact information. The other signs that are here, so these are smaller. We already have that nice main identification, so these would be from just other vantage points identifying the building. There are 2 commercial office spaces at this property. One of them would have suite panels or riders that would indicate suite 1 and suite 2, tenants that have office space. That is currently, it's kind of hard to see, but if you look at that on the bottom of the page on the left, that's currently in a V shape. We would keep it in generally the same location. What we would just do is a single sign, 2 face, and put it perpendicular to Lancaster Avenue, so cars can see it on either direction. And there are some shrubs there that would obscure it the way it currently sits. So we would plan to remove the shrubs and make it easy to see for motorists going by.
Kevin, are they allowed at 3 signage because they already have 3 there? Is that safe to?
Yeah, if they're replacing the signs in the location and of similar size, no bigger, then yes, they're grandfathered in.
Okay, we're pretty much looking at the aesthetics and.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. Lighting on these signs?
Ground lighting.
Like existing?
Yes. I believe so. I mean, it's hard to tell in the pictures, but if you go back to the first sign with the stone, if you zoom in on that or looking at that picture, you'll see that there's already a light there.
Gotcha.
Yes. The other signs, I don't think the pictures really capture what's there.
Okay.
So these signs they're going to be a light shining on the sign, not lit from within, because they're wood.
Correct. There will be a ground light that's directed onto it.
Okay. And so you're basically trying to keep a similar size.
Ray can answer better as to what signs are there and proposed.
Hello.
But I want to say, hey, Ray, go ahead.
Hey, happy birthday, David.
Thank you.
And good evening, board members.
Oh, yeah.
The signs are very similar to what is there. They are the one that we're proposing that's on the corner of Lancaster and Chamamix, that's one is going to be the main identification sign, whereas now it's just kind of a corner identifier. And we're swapping out to where the big sign where the tenants are, that's down Lancaster, that's going to come reduce in size. So we're kind of swapping those two to make the main identifier for the property on the one corner.
So will the signs be opposite each other on Chamonix and the corner?
Well, the main corner where Chamonix and Lancaster is, that's going to be the main identification.
Yeah, but they'll be in the same place.
They'll be in the same location, yeah.
Is that how you pronounce it, Jane? Chamonix?
Yeah, it's French. I don't speak French. Don't ask this Philadelphian, but that's.
I argue for all I know, with all the art in the background, you could be in a Parisian pied-à-terre. I have no idea.
Yeah, this is the room that gets everything.
Chamonix.
Yeah, that's really Chamonix. People do say Chamonix. They do around here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know, I talked to Kevin about this. That, you know, according to the code, they're in a residential section and they're only allowed 15 square feet on their signage. But it calls it's existing. They're allowed to make it that same size. I kind of feel bad for the neighboring property. The new condominiums that went up. If you remember, he came in with signage that was too large. We had him come back and he had to adhere to the 15 feet, square feet regulations according to the code. Kind of feel bad for him in a way, but I guess that's just the way it is. So hopefully he doesn't see these new signs going up and says, hey, how come this guy's got such big signage when I had to keep mine at 15 square feet? But I guess that's the way it is. So, yeah.
Like, since you're doing so many renovations and refreshings on these apartment properties that have been around for a bit, if you notice that the landscaping could also use some refreshing and renovations, many of the shrubs and the trees are out of scale. And you know, if you want to make something look new and fresh, it's good to also renovate the old shrubs and stuff. And I'm tree hugger of the Western world, but sometimes it's time, you know, for things to be redone.
We definitely plan to do that. Ian, are you able to give me a screen share? I could just kind of, I want to be able to just give a quick review of what we do.
I mean, something that's, well, landscaping is somewhat design review, but it's not pertinent, right?
No, if they're going to come in and do a landscape, redo the landscape, that would be subject to this board's review. It's a landscape plan is subject.
Oh, it is?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay.
Because a lot of the trees and stuff really, they're way out of scale, and they're actually might be somewhat, you know. We know. We drive by your properties all the time.
They're well located.
Okay. No. That's my only comment.
David, are you looking for landscaping? Is that what you're trying to find?
Well, do I have the ability to share my screen? I think I said yes.
Yes, you do.
Okay, thank you. So I just want to show you, just based on that question, some of what we do. We've been in business for 40 years. My dad started the company. I've been with him for the last like 13 or 14. So this is a property that we purchased a number of years ago in another part of Delaware County. So you can all see this?
Yes.
So this is what it looked like at the acquisition. So you could see that they're allowing, the former owners allow pickup trucks to drive on here. You know, this courtyard was just really gross, is the one word that I would use to describe it. So what we do when we bought this property, this is what it looked like when we finished.
Hmm. Very nice.
I'll give you another example. Because really everything that I'm showing you this evening is very much the same of what we'd like to do for these communities in your township. You drive by, you know, we want everybody to be proud of what they're looking at. So this is a place in Phoenixville that we acquired a couple of years ago, and what it looked like then. And I want particular note for the siding up here, because I do want to show that, because that's something that we're going to look at too, as well as these railings, because another application we will be detailing this a little bit more. But what we went through and then ended up completing, this is that same building when we were finished.
Yeah, looks good.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
So I appreciate you indulging me with that.
Okay. So when you get your landscape plan together, you'll come back and pay us a visit, right?
Yeah, we're in the process of doing that. So I'm glad Kevin mentioned that we would need to, because I was not aware that landscaping was part of the DRB. Right. So not a problem.
All right. So I
If
think
you're, let me clarify. If you're doing a whole-scale landscaping plan, yes. If you're, doing some maintenance and replacing and manicuring and maintaining, no.
No. So we would be, just like Jane had said, we don't like what's there. We would be removing everything and replanting.
Great. You may also run into the shade tree ordinance if you take out more than 6 trees, 7 inches DBH.
So when I say removing, it would just be shrubs. Yeah, this would just be shrubs. The trees, we would only, the only trees we would remove are by necessity.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So I think we've walked through all the elements, changes for that building. Is there any questions from the board? We're in good shape. Tim, Jane, Colin, you guys are all, I think it looks great.
I think it's looking nice.
Okay. David, you have any questions for the board or for Kevin?
I do not.
Okay. So should we make a motion for this first application? We'll move forward and we'll look at the next couple ones, but this should move a lot quicker. So would somebody like to make a motion for approval on this one?
We're on DRB 2021-06, right?
Yes.
In the matter of DRB 2021-06, I move to approve the application.
Where's second?
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, good. All right. So we'll move to the next application, which is DRB 2021-07, the application of Friedman Lancaster Avenue Partners, 420 Morris Road in Maine, for pretty much everything we just looked at, but I believe there's, we're going to look at some siding on the building on this one.
The next one.
This, 420. Let's see if it's Brookdale. Yeah, so
yeah, it's on the back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So I think, David, the lighting is the same as a previous application. Correct me if I'm wrong.
That is correct.
The signage is
lighting
the same?
Yes, the only difference for the sign is right now the sign orientation is actually parallel to Morris Road, so it's hard to read.
Mm-hmm.
We would propose to turn it perpendicular so cars passing from either direction have an easier time to read it.
Okay. Well, you're going to have to change your lighting plan around, I guess, then.
There are ground lights that are there existing. So yeah, we would just have to move those heads by a couple feet.
Okay. All right. And it looks like your window treatments are going to be the same.
The shutters, when you say treatments, are like the actual windows.
Shutters and windows both.
Well, yeah. So the difference here again for the window shutters is the brick does not currently have any shutters. So we're just showing you where we would propose to put them on. And pardon my rudimentary Sharpie marker that locates them.
All right. And, but this one's going to get some siding on the building, correct?
Yeah, so the front entryway over top the 3rd story has existing siding. If you look at it, it's certainly worse for wear. So the siding that we would propose to do is a certainteed vinyl siding color would be gray, and would just be in that very small location that you see.
Guys good with that?
Yes.
Good, okay. And you're good with the shutters?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Any other comments or questions on this application? Looking good? Okay, David, anything else we should know about this location?
Going through the application real quick to see. No, I think that's it.
Okay. All right. Can we make a motion for acceptance on this one?
In the matter of DRB 2021-07, I move to approve the application.
Okay. Do we hear a second?
A second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Great. All right. So next one is DRB 2021-08, the application of Friedman Lancaster Avenue Partners at 505 East Lancaster Avenue in Wayne. So, David, I think the change on this one may be the black windows, correct?
That is correct. And there's another lighting design to discuss here.
Okay, good.
But starting with the windows, the only difference is a black vinyl exterior.
Out of curiosity, why the change on that particular one?
We love that property. That's our favorite. So there is a very, very significant price increase on the black. You know, if you really wanted to get black on others, maybe you could talk to Joe and see what he could do. But we wanted to go big on this property. Just it's special to us.
Okay.
Yeah, and the apartments are rather large, some of them.
Yes, they are.
Okay. All right. And you said there's a change to the lighting, David?
So the post lights that are at the property, like the mostly at the front, are the same. But then there are these other, I guess they have two different styles of lights. So if you know where Wayne Realty Corp is, right by the St. David station, it's hard to see. So if you look at one of the second photos, there's a brick wall that kind of separates the former SEPTA train station and the Wessex House apartments. Those poles are anchored into the stone. So the lights that we were talking about before wouldn't really be a good application in these locations. So all we want to do is paint them, make sure they're straight, and change the heads for those. Okay. And so those would be what you see that's listed as the generation lighting, the 3-light outdoor post lantern.
What do you guys feel about that? You're good with it?
I'm fine with it.
Good.
I'm fine with it. It's sitting in its own place.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. If we're good with that, is there anything else, David, on this application we should know about?
So I actually have a question. I didn't put it on this application, but we're gonna do some painting. It's a brick building, so there's not a lot of painting to do. But part of our plan to go with the black windows, we want to paint the balconies black. So would you guys be okay with that?
I would.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, I don't have a problem with it. Yeah.
Makes them look like they're wrought iron in a way.
Yeah. David, a question on the signage on this property. Your main monument sign, it looks like it's a little different base than the other ones.
Yeah, so if you look at the existing sign now, it sits on a stone base, which we really liked. So you know, we wanted to kind of keep that design element for here. So we do have that. That's the only change on the signs is adding a stone base underneath with the columns. Okay. We do have two options. If we are allowed to fit a larger, let's see, it looks like a 30 square foot sign. If that's allowed under the ordinance, that would be our preference. If it's not, we might want to go for a zoning variance to go a little bit bigger. But we showed you both scales, one which we're pretty confident it matches the existing 24 square feet. The other would be a little bit larger as an option for us.
You're going to have to, I think, kind of replace them in kind.
Yeah.
Again, I guess you can go for a variance, but Kevin, I mean, what do you think?
If this property is in the R6, I believe that there are limitations, and if you're going to go beyond what is currently there, and if what is currently there is non-conforming, you would need relief in front of the zoning hearing board.
Yeah. I mean, if you're building a brand new building in this district, you'd only be allowed 15 square feet. But since it's existing, you're allowed to kind of mimic what's there. So, yeah. And David, one thing to keep in mind too with some of these, just make sure there's no, the sight lines are okay on everything. So some of these signs may have been put up years ago. So just make sure no traffic's getting blocked, pulling out of roads or anything.
Yeah, this has, it's hard to see in this photo, but this has a nice setback from the walkway where it wouldn't get in anyone's way.
Okay. All right.
I could also mention that people know where the Wessex house is, so the current existing size is probably going to work well for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Colin, were you going to say something?
I'm sorry, Colin.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I'm good.
Okay. All right. Any other, anything else we should know about this one, David?
So just to clarify, my understanding is it sounds like the current ordinance is 15 square foot for new signs. So 24 square feet we could replace since it's grandfathered in.
Correct.
Okay.
Again,
no,
sorry. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I just wanted to clarify that. So, and it would probably, I imagine, be, I guess, what do you think the likelihood would be if we wanted to go for a variance for 30?
Like playing the odds?
Sorry. That would be dependent on your argument in front of the zoning hearing board. That's, they take things on a case-by-case basis. For a variance, you need a hardship. So it's your case to argue in front of that board.
Okay.
David, we didn't mention it with the last application, but we'll mention it with this in conjunction with the last one. Same deal. If you do a landscaping change, you'll come in with that also.
Yeah, all sites are going to get a landscaping change,
okay.
So we'll come in with all of that.
Okay,
yeah.
Very good. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Is there anything else for David on this application? Are we okay?
I'm okay.
We're all right. Okay. Somebody want to make a motion on this one?
In the matter of DRB 2021-08, I move to approve the application subject to the approval of option 1 for the ground signage at the existing or a lesser square footage than the sign currently existing on site.
Okay, good. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, great. We're going to move on to the next one, which is DRB 2021-09, the application of Friedman Lancaster Avenue Partners at 421 East Lancaster Avenue in Wayne. David, you're on again.
Okay, just pulling up that one. All right, so this one, similar conditions with the lighting. So we gave you some pictures of what they're like. A lot of the heads are crooked, busted.
Mm-hmm.
So we would be removing them. Location shown. No changes. Same thing for the windows. Some pictures. Our grids would follow same patterns. No difference to any of the products we would be using. This property is white vinyl. Signs. So this one kind of sits up a little bit on a elevated hill off the street and sidewalk. It is internally illuminated right now. I'm actually not sure if it really works, but we would, propose again a similar sign as for all the other ones. Shutters don't exist.
Black shutters on. Black shutters go on this one.
Yeah, so shutters aren't existing on this property, so we would want to add shutters that don't exist. So we gave you a couple different angles of the buildings to show where we would propose to put them.
Mm-hmm.
And the shutters that we put on these buildings, they're same for all the buildings we put them on.
David, one quick question. I think you're okay, but on getting back to signage just for a second, we just need to make sure it's at least 10 feet off the cartway. Looks like it's fairly close, but hopefully you have enough clearance there.
And can you clarify that 10 feet off the cartway?
Well,
being
basically from the curb, curb in. And again, just make sure it's not blocking any sight lines or anything.
Yeah, I believe that one has a pretty good setback as well, but we'll check and make sure when we submit the permit application.
Okay. Yeah, okay. All right. Anything else, David, on this one?
No.
Okay. Great. Any questions or comments from the board on this application? We're good?
In your application, it appears that the existing sign is 25 inches by 62 inches, and you have that in there as approximately 11 square feet. But the sign that you're seeking to replace it with, you have as the 24 square foot sign. Is that what you're asking for?
Yeah, so I guess, right, I think you were communicating with Kevin. I don't know if 24 is what we were thinking were, based on the other sign conditions, the maximum that we could get.
I actually I was unable to determine that by the location of each apartments with the different zoning areas. So what I ended up doing was going by existing signage that was there and went with the 24 square foot. Not existing signage at Crestwood, but in the other areas. And again, trying to keep a uniformity with all the signage for consistent identifiers on all your properties.
Right, I understood that. It's just really, it comes down just to the mathematical equation.
Mm-hmm.
Is the sign that's currently existing at the Crestwood Apartments, is that 11 square feet?
That is 11 square foot at the existing Crestwood, yes.
Then I think we would have an issue under the code then.
Yes, if it's non-conforming at the site, it can be replaced as non-conforming at the site. Otherwise, it has to be conforming to the code. And as was noted earlier, the districts have different sign requirements. And I note some of these are in residential districts, so that limit would be 15 square feet.
Okay, so we can look at sizing that down to 15 square feet. If we feel, so we would try and do I guess we could size that down to the same design. If you're able to approve that. And I guess the only reason we would come back is if we felt that we just couldn't fit pertinent information for, safely for passerbys driving.
A plus sign though is this sign is a better looking sign than the existing sign. It's not lit from within. So that would be a good thing, to my eye.
With aesthetics, and also another issue is that if we reduce the sign body down to the 15 square, we're still going to be going with 18-inch columns. So now they may tend to overpower the sign as well.
I think you would have to scale the whole thing including the columns. I think that's what you probably would be looking to do here if you're trying to scale it down from the 24-foot design, which includes the columns.
Well, I understand that would be ideal. However, this is a manufactured stone, and these columns come in manufactured at 18 inches.
Mm. Yeah, that's a tough one. That's I think what it is. But the scope of our authority under the code is only limited to granting what we can grant in compliance with the code. So,
okay.
If there's a way to scale it down, that'd be great. If there's something you want us to take a look at, we can look at this another time. We can conditionally approve. I think we would propose to conditionally approve this application, so long as the sign is scaled down to within compliance with the code.
So your max is 15 square feet in this district.
Okay. So how would you feel if we then, for the post, if we took, instead of posts, we created like a stone base instead? Same stone, same look.
I'm good with that.
It's on Lancaster Avenue, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Which is our commercial corridor.
Yes.
I'm fine with that.
I'm good with that. I don't know how the rest of the board feels.
I'm good with it.
I like the idea.
Okay.
And this way it keeps all of the same design elements. So like Ray said, there's a uniformity as you drive down for these properties.
Mm-hmm. Tim, you're good with that?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Why don't we do this? We'll make a motion on it, but Ray, we'll ask you to show a new rendering and make sure that the township receives that, so they can keep that in the files, the measurements and a new rendering for that.
Absolutely, be glad to. Okay.
All right. And Kevin, you're okay with that?
Absolutely.
Size, changing the style a little bit. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay, good. All right. Anything else we need to know about this? We're in good shape. Make a motion. Somebody want to take it?
In the matter of DRB 2021-09, I move to conditionally approve this application subject to the ground sign being scaled down to be in compliance with the 15 square feet provided by the code.
Here's a second.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, great. All right. Oh, we have one more. One more, and that'll
final one for us.
Final one, yeah. DRB 2021-10, the application of Friedman Lancaster Avenue Partners at 421 Morris Road. It says Morris Avenue. I believe it's Morris Road in Wayne. And okay, David, we have a couple new items I think you're going to show us on this one.
There are, yeah. This property is a little more of like a two-story garden style as opposed to the called mid-rise with the elevator. So the windows and the sliders are all going to be the same, using the same products as the other ones, just the size and scaled differently. What we're looking at doing here also are the balconies. So if you take a look at some of the current photos, if you kind of look a little, I don't know if you have a screen, if you zoom or pinch in or just look at them, they're wrought iron. In a lot of cases, they're starting to show signs of wear and rust. If you look at second photo on the white post, it says B38, like that middle baluster, you can see like some of the rust at the bottom of it. So they're pretty flimsy. I'm pretty sure they're not current code with heights and with distance between the rails. So what we're looking at doing is to put in, oh, I feel like this got a little twisted around on my sheet. A little out of order on my sheet, I apologize. It's called a Tuscany Series balcony. It's an aluminum railing, powder coated. And we showed you a picture of it installed on another, it was one of the pictures I showed you earlier, same balcony that we've used in another location. So that would be proposed to replace the existing black wrought iron with a new powder coated aluminum, heights and widths to current code.
You guys good with that?
Yeah.
I like it when I saw it.
Okay, good. And then you're gonna do some siding changes on this one, I believe.
Yes, so this property has siding as photographed. So what we're proposing to do is directly across the street on Morris Road, that small section that we showed you above at the top of the 3rd story, same exact siding that would go there. It's a certainty vinyl product. Color would be gray, and showing you a picture of it on another one of our buildings of what that sign or siding rather would look like.
Okay. And looks like some shutters again on this one, same style and everything.
Yep.
Okay.
So shutters are existing on this property, so we would be putting same style that we've been proposing everywhere else.
Mm-hmm. You're going to go black on this also?
Yep.
Okay.
Black vinyl, raised panel.
Okay. And some doors, right? New doors?
Yeah, so if you look at the buildings, they have common entry doors that serve, it depends on the entry, but typically they're serving 4 apartments, kind of 2 at the bottom, 2 right above, stacked units. If you pay close attention to some of them, you'll see a lot of the side, or a lot of those doors are really rotted. They don't close all the way. They don't secure. They're in really bad shape. So we're proposing to take out the entirety of the door and the side lights, and to put in new smooth fiberglass 6-panel for the door. And it would have, I want to say it's a 3-light for the side light with a matching panel at the bottom. And the color that we would do it, we'll put the sample of the Sherwin-Williams color, but it would be a nice blue, factory painted.
Nice.
And the trim around it, we would just scrape and paint.
Okay.
Okay.
Guys are good with that? The doors? Yes. Okay.
Okay.
And we'll take a final look at the signage on this building.
Yes, so this, for some strange reason, the signage is only facing one direction, kind of oriented towards the Wawa. So our sign would be two-sided. And kind of to bring up, now looking at this, Tim's comment on the last application, if we have 20 square feet existing, I guess we would propose to do the same thing that we did at the other application, to size this to the 20 square feet.
Yeah, again, if it was a new building, you're only allowed 15. So being grandfathered, you can get your 20.
That sounds great.
Okay. So we'll just say that for all 5 properties, they really need to be in kind, size-wise, of what's existing.
Okay.
Okay. And now it doesn't look like there's any lighting there on that sign.
Yeah.
There's not, so we would probably have to pull a permit for some, to bring ground lights to it.
Okay. All right. Okay.
And you're already putting in new sidewalks, which is good.
New
sidewalks? At this location, you're putting in new sidewalks.
We weren't proposing to put new sidewalks in.
Oh, well, there must have been the corner I've been driving by. There's a new sidewalks.
There's a lot
probably part of the Morris Road new sidewalks. Morris Road's getting new sidewalks.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of those, like the residential homes, the street has been closed, and they're doing a lot of driveway aprons that I've seen over there.
And new curbing
as well. Yeah.
New trees.
New trees.
You like that, right? Okay.
I like the cherry trees.
Okay. All right.
They were old. They're
yeah. I'll tell you what, I think you're going to do a great job. Again, come back with your landscaping plan, but I think all those properties are going to be really enhanced, and yeah, I think it's going to look good.
This one could use it.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. David, anything else that we've overlooked here, or anything you want to mention, or?
Well, I guess a quick question on the landscaping. There are some things that we want to selectively remove, not trees, just shrubs. So I just want to make sure that even if we don't have the plans set or in here and approved, we can do that. It's like, for example, there are some old oil tanks on a couple of these properties that we're going to be submitting permits to remove with a licensed DEP contractor, even though they don't fall under DEP jurisdiction, they're too small. But there are shrubs planted around them, so we need to remove the shrubs to get it out. So I just want to make sure that that's okay. Really no other way to get it out.
If they're your shrubs,
okay.
You can remove them.
New kid on the block. I just wanted to make sure, play with all the neighbors.
I'm sure you'd be okay if you need to get the tanks out. Yeah.
I was on shade tree for 10 years. Shrubs were not trees. You can take shrubs out. I think there's buffer screening, but that comes into subdivision, doesn't it?
Riparian issues if you buy.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. But no, shrubs are not.
All right. David, any other questions for the board or for Kevin?
No, I'm good. I appreciate you taking it easy on me.
Yeah, thank you. Happy birthday. And we'll make a motion for this last one.
In the matter of DRB 2021-10, I move to approve the application conditioned on the ground sign being scaled to the maximum size of the pre-existing sign on the site.
Okay, here's a second.
I second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate your help.
Thank you very much.
Okay. We'll look forward to seeing you with landscaping plans.
Good. Appreciate it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Good night. You're all of the board members. You do great work for your community.
Thank you very much, Ray. Yeah.
Thank you, and thank you for the investment in our community.
Yeah. Thank you. All right. So our next applicant is DRB 2021-11. The application of Tim Rubin and Oliver Wishmeyer at 812 to 814 Glenbrook in Bryn Mawr for a 3-unit residential building with parking. Gentlemen, hi there.
Hello, good evening. How are you guys doing?
Oh, we're doing great. How about you?
I'm doing well.
Good, good. Okay, why don't you walk us through your project here?
All right, well, Tim and myself are very excited to get our last piece of the master plan underway. Currently on the property, there are 3 other buildings that have been, 2 of the other buildings are apartment buildings that have been renovated. And this is the last piece of the puzzle. So currently there is a dilapidated vacant building on the property. And we are proposing putting in 2 parking spaces inside the structure and then 3 apartments. Each apartment will be a 2-bedroom apartment. The look of the building is trying to match within the aesthetics of the neighboring 2 apartment buildings. We're looking to keep the same palette of dark gray, light gray, the nice red doors that pop and give entry. And then we would continue with the white vinyl windows to give the complex a overall nice look. And so it looks like a sort of a small little complex.
Mm-hmm. All right, so why don't you maybe we just go through some of the details on the building, maybe piece by piece.
Sure.
Okay. So we'll start with why don't we start with the landscaping plan?
Okay. Well, currently the building really doesn't have any landscaping. We plan on there are some bushes in between this building and the commercial building. We're going to try to maintain those as best we can during the construction. And then we will just replace and sod the property to make it appear as it is right now.
Good. And how about some of the details on the building and the materials you're going to use?
So the materials we plan on using is a combination of thin brick, textured fiber cement siding with fiber cement trim. And then up at the top, we are going to build a cornice probably out of either treated lumber or it could be a some sort of foam polyurethane foam to achieve a cornice similar to the rest of the buildings on the property.
Okay. And windows and.
Yeah, so the windows, we're looking at probably either a vinyl or a fiberglass window. And, they'll be by 36 by 60, whatever we need to be code compliant for our egress window.
What else do you want to tell us about the building?
Kind of a straightforward building, just, looking to keep in harmony of the other two apartment buildings that are on the or on the property with.
Looks like you had some exterior lighting.
Yeah, we're looking to just do some sconces that are just going to provide some downlight around the edge of the building. We don't want to get anything, too crazy, just, providing some downlight. Want to make sure we don't put anything light up. Want to make sure we keep, for the dark sky and just provide lighting down.
And how about your trash? Is it inside the building or outside or?
Tim, where is the trash currently on the property? Tim, you're muted.
Oops.
Nope.
The phone is muted.
It shows that you got two things up, Tim. Maybe one's for your volume. Are you on the phone as well?
And can you unmute Tim's phone?
I think the trash isn't. No.
I'm attempting to. It's not letting me.
See trash.
Oliver, is there anything else you want to mention? Maybe Tim will catch up.
Tim?
Oliver, I don't know why I can hear you and I can see you. I'm unmuted. I'm unmuted. I don't know how to make it work.
Can you guys hear Tim?
Yeah.
I can just tell you, Oliver, it's not working. I'll just tell you, we're going to do the trash along with the other two buildings. So it's a 3-building complex. So all the trash will be in the same area in the rear. We have 12 units. This will be 3 more. So all 15 will be in the same area in the rear of the property. Did you hear that?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
Will it be fenced in some way or hidden or are you just going to be cans thrown out there?
It's hidden because it's in the rear of the property.
Okay.
We already have 12 units, and the trash is kind of tucked away closer to where the SEPTA 100 property line is, and that's where these 3 units will put their trash as well.
Okay. Is it a dumpster or just individual cans?
Individual.
Individual, okay.
Not a dumpster.
Okay. All right. Board, what other questions?
Just based upon the renderings, it's difficult to tell in terms of the coloration, but it's my understanding that the color scheme is going to match the other 2 buildings identically.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Just the renderings, sometimes they came with a brown tone.
Yeah, the rendering when it printed, I think got a little browner than the gray was. So yeah, the intent is that Tim still has the colors from the previous building, so we're just gonna do a paint match. So again, everything has it look like it's part of the same complex.
As long as it's not the La Cabra yellow that my wife yells at me for, I have no problem with this design.
All right. Other questions? Colin and Jane?
I'm fine.
Looking good? It looks like you're going to have a little...
Looking for questions. I can't find any. It looks good.
No, it looks terrific. Yeah. It looks like you're going to have an outside deck for the tenants.
Yes, it will be a common outside deck just above the garage.
Okay. All right. So 2 parking spaces. How about the sidewalks? Are they in good condition or they need to be replaced?
Well, we're going to definitely have to replace it in front of the garage when we do the curb cut. But I'm assuming, you know, if something's cracked, we can always replace it while we're replacing that.
Sure. Okay. And it looks like you're going to put a little cover over the front, like the other.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just to, again, try to mimic what's there on the other properties.
Sure.
You know, and it gives us a place to put a light to shine down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you mentioned your building's like the last one in the project here?
Yes, it is.
Good. Okay. It's been a big improvement for that end of town. Yeah. Yeah, it looks good. What else, guys? Any questions for the board or comments or the board? We're good with everything? Motion for acceptance?
The matter of DRB 2021-11, Tim Rubin, Oliver Wishmeyer for the approval of new facades at 812 to 814 Glenbrook in Bryn Mawr. Motion to approve.
Do we hear a second?
I think it's for the construction, but
for the construction and proposed facades.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, terrific. Thank you, gentlemen. Lots of luck.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Thank you.
I feel like I need to be up here.
All right, we're down to the last one.
Hey, guys.
Hi.
You remember us?
We remember, yes, of course we do.
We're
So
new here.
This is the application of DRB 2021-12, the application of DeBruno Brothers at 375 West Lancaster Avenue in Wayne. I think this is about the 15th time you've been before our board. And no, I think, yeah. So we appreciate you coming back. I know there's some fine tuning on the signage and we're happy to look at that tonight. So.
No problem. We're happy to be here. Thank you.
All righty.
I can share our screen so we can look at it together.
Got it.
Okay,
Awesome.
perfect.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys. Hopefully this will be the last time we're hanging out, which might be a sad thing.
Yeah.
But we do have some minor adjustments to our awnings.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, when we went to go and get these produced, we found that, you know, having the top part of them covered really hindered some of the lighting, which is so beautiful in the store. So we wanted to rethink how these awnings were created. They're actually smaller than they used to be, still positioned in the same spots that they were. It's just we don't have that pitch of where they kind of used to cover the top part and where they came down from the building. And then you'll notice we do have still the 3 signage moments on the west elevation, where it says DeBruno Brothers, just in those 3 spots. And otherwise, I think that's kind of like the main gist here, a little bit smaller, and we removed the pitch.
Just really shrunk them down so we could focus on the windows and not take away from the exterior.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, approved.
Yep. Is that call it?
They look nice.
Oh, Tim.
Should have brought us some pork sandwiches. You know.
Well, hopefully you guys will join us at the store.
When is the grand opening?
Yeah. Well, we're officially announcing it on Friday, but we are aiming to open next week.
Great.
You know, knock on wood.
Yeah.
Okay.
As long as we keep moving forward here.
I was here this morning.
Is the facade still going to be the black?
It is going to be the black. We do have to wait for it to get a little bit warmer to be able to paint. They're not able to paint because it's been particularly cold this winter. So we're going to go ahead and open because we can't wait 2 months to open just because of the paint. So as soon as it's warm enough, we're going to paint it and it'll be the black, exactly as spec'd. And we'd let Kevin know that, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I feel like you're missing an opportunity with this weather this week.
Oh, you don't even have to tell me. We had the same conversation. Apparently, it has to be above 45 degrees for 5 days in a row, morning and night, to get the black on there. So in a couple weeks, maybe a month. Yeah. We'll have it done.
Colin, come out with us and paint it.
It done.
I feel like there could have been options, ladies.
Yeah. All right.
It looks great. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. Wait till you see the inside. It's absolutely beautiful. Bill has done such a great job, Virginia and the team. It's incredible.
I go to the gym across the street and it's above, the second floor. So I admire it every morning. The progress has been really fun to watch.
Oh, cool. Awesome. Thank you. It's great to hear.
Colin, you're going to have to work out twice as hard. You'll be eating pork sandwiches every day.
Well, I do remember the ladies promising Tim some goodies, but unfortunately we were in person for that meeting.
Yeah, come back to see us. Don't worry. Yeah, come back to see us when we're in the building. Bring some goodies,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No problem.
Mm-hmm. So it's good. Hey, just real quick, those awnings are still Sunbrella, correct?
These are metal. They've always been like a metal.
Oh, was it? Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah. No worries.
Okay, no change then. Same material. Okay.
That's right.
Okay.
So they're aluminum, I guess?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're gonna paint them that like creamy gold. It's gonna match some of the other things that we're doing on the vinyls. Nothing has changed there, just that pitch.
Are you gonna be able to get them up for the grand opening, or is that gonna be delayed?
We're trying.
Okay, all right.
Probably not. Maybe it'll be a week or two in.
Sure. Well, it'll be good to get opened. So
yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, we were able to hire 60 new people. So we want to get them working and start moving forward. Really feels good to have people hired and moving forward.
So just if we can take an extra second, I just had a question for you. So you've got can we call it the coffee shop? I know that's not the correct term.
Yeah, the cafe.
The cafe. So that'll open, what, 7 o'clock in the morning or so?
Yes.
Okay. And then the rest of the store will open?
Probably 9.
9. Okay. And they're independent.
That's our plan.
Yeah, they're independent of each other. It's not like the customers can walk from one to the other, or can they?
You can walk through. There's a breakthrough.
I knew there was a breakthrough. I don't know if it was employees or customers. So.
No, there's a 12-foot staircase that you can break through. Mm-hmm. However, if you're a coffee bar customer coming in at 7, you wouldn't be able to go through the main entrance.
Right. Gotcha.
You'd have to go through that side. Mm-hmm. But yeah, there's a big breakthrough. So it's actually pretty. It's pretty. From the coffee bar, you can see the whole store.
Mm-hmm.
It's on a different elevation. So there's steps and an ADA lift.
Great.
Yeah.
No, it looks super. So I think the town of Wayne's very excited for the grand opening here.
Oh, thank you. We're very excited for it too.
Yeah.
We're here getting product on the shelf.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Good. Great. All right.
It'll save us the trip to 9th Street.
There you go.
There's one in Ardmore that I frequent.
I know, but I go to the market.
Well, and this will have wine and beer, which Ardmore doesn't. Yeah. So there you go.
And just to let Jane know, they were in for outside dining. So
we were.
Yeah. So
no wonder my sister didn't leave town.
You'll never leave.
Yeah. All right. Any further comments from the board, or?
I'm going to make one more comment for the ladies to go back to their contractor. There is options. You could have them tent the building and pump in temporary heat.
So actually, we explored that.
I don't want to spend your contractor's general conditions, but there's always a will in the way.
I brought that up, and the problem they brought up was fire safety because of overnight. Oh my gosh!
Then they have to hire a fire watch. So.
There you go. They should have hired a fire watch.
Colin, you're hired.
You should have negotiated with them for me.
The next one, okay?
There you go.
Yeah, it looks awesome. Really, it literally looks good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. So the application tonight was really just for some slight adjustment on the awnings, pretty much.
That was it. Yeah.
That was pretty much it. Really appreciate you coming back for that.
No problem.
Yeah. Okay. Would somebody like to make a motion?
Jane?
Oh, I got to find it now.
Mr. Chairman, was there, and Dylan, was there anything on
I get to do the pretty one. Okay. For plans number DRB 2021-12.
I'm sorry, Jane, 1 second. I think Kevin had a question.
Dylan, was there any changes with the signs? I know we have on the agenda for signage. I just don't, we focus primarily on the
I think we were just
Mine's on
calling,
the awning.
calling out that it's there. Yeah,
Okay.
but no changes to it.
Okay. Okay.
Right. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay. I'm sorry, Jane.
Yeah. All right, DeBruno's DRB 2021-12 for approval for the change to the awnings and the signs on them.
Okay, do we hear a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Terrific. Thanks very much. Lots of luck to you.
Thank you. We
Thanks.
appreciate it.
Bye, y'all.
We'll see you
Yes.
soon.
All righty. Okay, Jane, that was a long meeting for your first one. Sorry about that. But, yeah.
And the last time I was on a board, they had video, but it was just, you know, two guys taking our pictures with lavalier lines. Back in the old building.
Letter after that meeting.
Geez. So at 8:45, we're wrapping this thing up. Is there any old business do we need to talk about? If not, we'll see us on April 14th.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Thanks, everybody.
Toodles. Nice, guys.
Thank you,
Have a good
board.
Easter, everyone.